President Barker is not in charge of situation unfolding in the country. And I think we ought to look at some of these critical things. A lot of things. If you were to move back and see recently, Representative Senator Dapla hit the government public relations team very hard. Senator Prince Moy also said some things that it was on the basis of. I mean, there's a lot of things unfolding inside the Unity Party, and I think the president ought to pay some attention and take heed of the matter. The vice president is coming up. He's and open it. The vice president was, I think, was a little bit reckless as to and careless rather, not careless as to how he the word is careless as to how he responded to this guy's situation. To me, he knows this guy. He should have said, "I don't know this guy to be involved into Just Boy. I don't know the man. He opened a lot of things," and I thought those that are helping the vice president. The word intended to use was careless. I didn't mean to say reckless. I meant to say careless. Those that I think more Ali than the rest of the folks should have to come and go and sit back with the vice president. I think he slipped deeply to say, "I don't know this guy. The man is in your living room taking picture with you, your wife, and other places." I mean, say I know this man, but I don't know him to be involved into drug situation. Period. But to come out as a vice president of the country and say that, how do you cannot fix that again. The vice president already said he don't know this man. If it is established that the vice president actually knows being interacting or acquaintance with him is a dangerous precedent. So I mean, a lot of things going to happen in the country. A lot of things are unfolding in the country, but it's something that we ought to have to pay very key attention to. It's not good at all. It's not good, and there's a way we have to handle it and move the country. While we agree that we need to protect the face of the country, we support the president doing the things he ought to do, what he was appointed to do, elected to do. He will have to take charge of the issue unfolding. The president will have to invite the international partner to take cease of the drugs investigation. I think a lot of things, if you listen to the new information coming out, this officer in charge of the Drugs Enforcement Agency, the DEA, his driver is in line with most of the guys that are in these things. And who recommended this of the part of the reason why the police chief was just trying to take cease of it. He don't want the guy because he feel the guy's not as sophisticated to handle this kind of a communication. He was just trying to take over. He pushed the man to be officer in charge. The officer in charge, driver, and the guys with the drugs, they are in Kuhu, allegedly. A lot of things. If the president allowed these people to say what their drugs saying, they would just do it their way and the country will be hit seriously. If anyone around the president really want to take this important, they should move to His Excellency, Mr. President. This is something that you have to take cease of. Yes. Gregory Crumman don't have the moral ground to even preside over this. It's not a police matter. Yeah. Eventually, probably will send to the police. Police will charge. Yeah. The charge will have to come to the police. But he's taking cease of it. No. The prosecution should be handling these things when it's on the way to the court. But he's taking cease of it. He seems to be somehow not clear. He's very ambivalent here. He's not clear. He knows something that we don't know. And the way he's going to link other people to it, they're trying to cover this thing up. It's not a good sign for the country. It's not a good sign. Biago, and say Biago, driver, and these people are connected. The vice president is coming and say, "I don't know the man at all. I've never seen him in my life." But it's not. There's a lot of record coming up that this man is close to the vice president and his family. It's not a good thing. Then you have other people coming. It's not anything on here. Posting all the men. No, it's not drama. It's about national concern to protect the image of the country. I mean, we ought to be frank. Everybody got franks in the thing, but sometimes the vice president be the last to speak up. Probably be someone in your office will come and say, "Oh, the VP, that's all your man. I saw our man already coming up. I know from the perspective. That's not a bureau. Oh, the chief don't know the man. Just took myself came somehow in your defense from that perspective the last time. Oh, the chief don't know the man. Yeah, then the chief come and say, "No, they make an actually come to me, to my house, to my wife. He info to us. I know him, but I don't know him to be involved in this kind of a thing." Then the public relations will start to fit into the line. But you the first man there, Rush, you say, I thought you were a little careless about it. To say, "I don't know this man." Trust me, you open in a serious country, you have opened a very serious investigation. Yeah, some start digging. Look at the photos that are coming on. And maybe he told no one. No, the man can come to your house. There's photo proof that man come to your house, man interact with your wife, interact with you. Then you don't know him. You don't know this man. So your mom is a, I don't know. We having from Page Africa, right?
Yeah, Rodney is coming. She just ignored me. He'll be here soon. Uh, we have Rodney here with us tonight. Yes, people, look, what you just said is the fact. In fact, we'll be having the discussion all over the place, and I think that's why when I spoke to the VP, I told him, I said, look, you got to come and have a press conference, come and address this issue. But I think usually when you insert a position, most people what they will do, they will bring their team together, sit down, analyze the situation, get the legal team with them, the political team, the PR team, before you go to the public, so that you'll be very measured in what you tell the public, because when you sit in a certain position, whatever you say is very important. And now I did not watch his comments. I haven't listened to his comments yet, but I've been getting people been calling telling me about it. But I know if Mike can play some snippets of it, I'll be happy to hear it a little bit.
Which one? Which one?
Where the VP spoke on that issue. Where he
Oh yeah. He came up clearly and said he don't know the man. He don't know this guy. That's what he's saying. But what we getting from and keep quick testimony. Sorry, the reason I'm saying official of the government coming out that morally and sometimes it's good to come out to defend your government, to get involved into media relation propaganda. These are all propaganda coming out, coming to see things referring to Rodney. Now the attempt here is to denigrate, to smell Rodney, see to score him. Oh, that he posts from morally. Oh, Rodney looking for money. Nonsense. Rodney C is a reputable liberal journalist. Beyond him being a reputable liberal journalist, he is detailed in terms of investigative skills in journalism. He runs one of the most respected and the most internationally acclaimed newspaper. The only internationally acclaimed paper that is respected by outside of the people in the US here and other part international community. They pay attention to the Front Page Africa newspaper. Rodney C build the legacy. There's a legacy in Liberia in terms of journalism. To come out and go after such a man, what you do in investigations, some of that doing something of such now, you push the investigator to go in more beyond to unearth things that you are hiding. So the things you have done with the making of say, come and have press conference, come on and have the press conference, detailed press conference. Okay, yes, I need photo of this man. This man and I took photo, but I don't understand or know most of his details working in terms of who he deal with, what he engaged with, what he does for means of living. I don't know those things. But to come out rapid and your proteges or surrogates are there attacking Rodney C, and then the vice president himself come up, boom, I don't know this man. And now we are receiving information. No, you know this guy. Your wife is in touch with this guy. The man is coming to your house. This is serious. If the president was sick and let it be a laissez-faire thing, or those political people around the president, they don't have a third eye. And I just saw the communication in one of the local something from this funny news from here saying that there's a report from some Liberians writing Congress about this matter. This matter is taking shape now. There are other people that are taking interest into it, other independent journalists are taking interest into it, because the issue is about not Liberia. Now, that was not meant for Liberia. It was a goose meant to lead the shores of Liberia into other powerful Western countries. Those countries too will come together to see how to, and then someone is linking our vice president. Our vice president is in a photo with some of those guys that are into this alleged drugs issue. And the vice president come out and say, "No, I don't know the man. I don't know him in my life. We may have taken picture, maybe it was a coincidence, but no. What we get, it doesn't seem to be any level of coincidence here, and that's the line. Then your surrogates are attacking Rodney C that got the pen. You don't attack the man with the microphone of the pen. You don't attack him if you don't have all of your facts in place. That's my advice to any of those people. You don't attack the man with the microphone and the pen. If you want to attack him, ensure that what he said, they are all factually incorrect. then you can attack said person. But to come and attack him, leaving the real facts, the man will just play around the facts. And eventually, if those that are investigating are trying to play some shenanigans here, not trying to hit the facts, the government going to be embarrassed. The government going to get some punches. And I'm afraid those punches that will hit the government eventually, it may be a dangerous precedent push, and that may be news against to bring this government down. And they have to be very mindful. I mean, bring the government down electorally in terms of electoral contestation. So they have to be a little mindful. They have to come and get the facts. Now the vibrant has said, I don't know how you're going to fix it. Should you come and point out to that? Oh yeah, they're making no money. Just come to my house. He knows my wife. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Well, he comes and say, oh, the man know my wife. No, he already came out a lie. In the quest of trying to rebuff what Rodney Sears said, or what Rodney Sears said to rebuff him, then you came out now to make a lot of mistakes. So to me, I think I know our guest is almost online.
Yes,
and other things also, but I mean, it's I don't know. Sometimes it can be difficult for is it LRB guys? There's a friend in there, so yeah, I have to this online.
Well, but people, that's what the closing arguments are about.
but they have to be mindful. They shouldn't always try to run after running too much. They expose themselves.
Yeah, I guess.
Rodney is ready now, right?
Yeah, he ready. Ready.
Okay.
Yeah. The Liberian International Award-winning investigative journalist and author. But let me say something before Rodney start talking. You know, when I was telling somebody from the UP government today, I said, hey, you guys are attacking the wrong dude. I said, let me give you a common example. That Rodney here, the day Magina got a sanction, I think it was 2 days. Rodney called me. He said, my man, they man are getting sanction. I said, huh? I thought anybody they have not announced it yet. I said, what do you mean? He said the Americans were, yeah. I just talked to some of the guys in just now. I said, what? I thought, I thought it was just another talk. When I look, the next day, I was driving, going somewhere, and Ben called me. Ben said, he said, Tony, the sanction might get in. I said, eh? I said, but Ronald tell me loud. I thought it was a joke. So, and then I was in Liberia 2024, I think. While I was there, this guy attended, I think we're having lunch somewhere, and the embassy kept calling this guy. I said, He said, my man, I will see you later. Me and T-Max driving with a guy. He said, man, I will see you later. I got to go. The embassy calling me. I got to go there. So, I said to say that the man have built his career over the years and have built his platform. And today you go to Washington, D.C., go to the places, to the Congress office, you see the front Africa papers all there, the newspaper from Liberia, the people got there reading. Mm-hmm. And then you try to attack him and you think now that you're going to bring him down. No, you're not bringing him down, because first of all, he's not the kind of guy that go to your press conferences and stay in line waiting for you. Won't see him there. Now you hardly see the guy. If the guy in the town, in the town, they may go somewhere you know he does that.
No.
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah. But anyway, Rodney, look, good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Welcome to the closing argument. We thank you. I know your schedule is so busy. You have traveling to come to go to again. I know, but a good is fun time to come with us today. But I'll leave with Pew to officially welcome you to the closing argument. Pew, is all yours.
Thank you. I want to say a wonderful good evening to you folks. We have Mr. Rodney Sears, a very respected and revered Liberian journalist, respected both internationally and nationally. He is the managing editor of the Front Page newspaper, a paper that is well respected internationally. As Madam Sadi said to me once, I think it was Tony Sondon, she said, there was some story. I mean, Front Page reporting it. Then I said, Madam, why you asked? She said, because the only thing the podcast I can see. So that was very funny. So, but Mr. Sears, we want to say to you, welcome. We've been following a lot of development in the country. We want to actually welcome you to the closing argument. We look forward to having a very wonderful, interactive discussion with you tonight.
Good to be here once more. Thank you.
Yes, quickly, we'll push you quick to say we've been seeing a lot of reports coming from some of the surrogate of the government. I mean, some official of government. Morally referred to you as one that is trying to push for money. I thought you saw his post and other thing. I want to start from that level about this whole thing you push up with the vice president. And I was a little bit baffled about people like Ali coming out and post against you. I would love for us to start from that note. What's your reading about those surrogates deploy of government, sub-government officials directly attacking you instead of talking about the issue on hand now?
I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not on Facebook, so I don't really see their posting.
Okay.
But people send me screenshots every now and then, and I look at them, and I don't really pay attention to them because if you're in the business of critiquing people and investigating people, you should be ready to take the hits. And I can't be seen as soft skin when I'm writing with people every day, and if they write about me, that's fine. It don't really move me. So I try to just stay above water and just continue to do what I'm doing. I don't really pay attention to those things. The facts are the facts. We report what we report. And much of what we've been reporting lately is based on credible, factual back documentation that we've been using. So I don't really pay much attention to those people. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's it.
Do you still believe that the vice president should come out and have a press conference and speak to the Liberian people?
I mean, I think it benefits the country, it benefits the government for him to clarify some things regarding those photographs that came out. It makes the government looks better if they can explain these things and just to draw a separate line of demarcation. Because in the last 24 to 48 hours, we gathered that the driver of the head of the DEA is also part of this thing, likely alleged to be part of it. And so I'm told they investigated him right now. And so once those connections are made, it makes it necessary for those who are involved or who have connection to these people to at least clarify their connections and how far they go and how they can handle it. But it doesn't bode well for the government to just leave it like that.
Yeah, quickly before I get to too many here, the vice president is roughly he's vehemently, and I use the word vehemently because he's came out outright there and said he don't know this guy. Is that deeply concerning for the vice president to come out outright there and say he don't? Is it really concerning?
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, both him and Tony said Tony said he knows him, but he said he doesn't know Tony like that. He met him a few times through some of his staffers. So I'm not sure whether it's up to them. For me, it's up to them. But the facts are what they are. The pictures are what they are. They are different functions together. So if one of them saying they don't know the other person, that's the public can decide.
Wow. Too many. Welcome, Mr. Nangbe. We welcome, Mr. Nangbe.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, please. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Welcome, Mr. Nangbe. Welcome, Mr. Peabody, and so forth. But Ronald, I know you don't have to go in. I mean, you don't have to disclose it, but I'm very sure that you hearing stuff in international circles. What are you? I mean, what are you hearing out there? Like, what are some of your colleagues? Because this thing already on international wires. What are you hearing in diplomatic circles? Like, what's some of the information you're getting? What are you hearing about this situation in Liberia?
Well, I know that a lot of international partners they are concerned about this matter. In fact, there is some investigation going on in Holland, where the Sierra Leonean fugitive is from. He's being protected by the Sierra Leonean government. And also 2 of the current persons of interest that were picked up this week, Leroy Harris, who owns the private bar in Painesville, and Jonathan Mamalu, the driver to the DEA director or officer in charge. They both have Dutch passports. So some connections are being made, that will make this thing maybe take it to another level.
So and also, I know you've been coming, like you said. I mean, like I know you're not on Facebook. You're not on Facebook, but I know you've been getting a barrage of attacks coming from all over the place and so forth. And people, I wonder. Somebody told you in Liberia. The person said, "I wonder he's saying he's going to protect himself because anything can happen to him." What he's saying is the whole cartel. He's trying to dismantle a cartel that have been in existence for years, not only this time around, been around for a long time, and so forth. But your staff, you got your staff there too, and so forth. But are you? I mean, with all these attacks and so forth, are you going to continue to go deeper into it? Or are you going to go to the bottom of it, or just going to maybe take a break on it small? Are you going to continue to go deeper into this thing?
We're going to follow the trail. We're going to follow the money. We're going to follow the investigation. We're going to follow the key players. We're going to make the connections necessary. We're going to work with our sources within the system in the investigation team. There have been calls for impartial, independent investigation into this. The president out of the country. He's due back, I think, Sunday. And this morning, I understand there was a meeting of the top security people discussing this issue. I think they want to make some adjustments or some improvement before the president returns. I'm told the meeting was not really, they didn't achieve much, but we're going to keep on investigating. Nothing going to stop us. I am somewhere safe. I'm not really concerned about what people say or do, or, I'm used to this thing. I've been doing it for years from different governments. I've been consistent. I've been consistent throughout the years from whatever government come and go. I'm still doing what I'm doing. So I'm not really concerned about detractors, naysayers, or people who think that I'm anti-government or I'm arrogant, I'm X, Y, and Z. I'm just doing my job. Everybody has a job to do in Liberia. If everybody do what it's supposed to be doing, Liberia will be much, much better. If the government does what it's supposed to do, if the legislature does what it's supposed to do, if the judiciary branch does what it's supposed to do and stop all of the things that we're seeing happening with cases, especially land cases in Liberia, the country will get better, but we cannot force them to do what they're supposed to be doing. We can only do what we can do. We can find out the ills in society. Liberia is not a dictatorship. It's a government of democracy. And we have to make sure that we stay the course. Because I was in Liberia during the war. I saw what happened to people. I saw how people died. People got displaced. And we don't want to go back to that chapter. And I think part of not going back to that chapter is making sure that our country has all of the necessary tools, necessary ingredients to foster the budding democracy that we're trying to build. And I think it's necessary that we really hold the government feet to the fire. And if the president, as the president has said, the investigation will leave no stone unturned. So we're trying to help the government to do what it's supposed to be doing. And that's what we're doing. So if people within the government is not happy with what we're doing, then they shouldn't be in the government. That's how I see it.
That everybody?
Yeah, or everybody. Okay, one of you. Who came first?
Yes. Ronnie, good to see you. The tough talking and the one of Liberia's finest investigative journalists, award-winning journalist, I must say. You are award-winning, and published books and stuff like that. So thank you, Ronnie. Good to see you. Always good to see you. It's an honor having you on the Closing Acumen. My question to you, Ronnie, do you believe that the government have not acted really fast when it comes to the drug investigation? My first question.
I mean, I think in the beginning I was kind of like I wasn't sure what to think. But yesterday I was a little bit suspicious because there were a lot of, at the pace of which the investigation was going, I was a little bit suspicious about things that were happening. But I think yesterday, the last few days, I've been speaking to one of the suspects in the case, and they currently in exile, but they're afraid to go back home because of fear for their life. You know, this drug thing is very, very risky. Even what we all are doing is risky because drug dealers they don't want anyone standing in their way. So what we're doing is pretty much standing in their way. So we have to be careful. We have to watch ourselves, what we do and what, you know. So that being said, I think we are just doing a favor for the country, and we have to be vigilant in doing this. I think part of the reason too we're doing this is because we want to see our country, you know, stay the course, you know, they don't go anywhere else. And that's pretty much, you know, how I see it. I don't really have much, you know, but this week they arrested few more people. As I said, the DA director's driver and the guy who owns the bar in Painesville. So this case is, I think there might be some surprises. I know there's some big people hands involved in it. The suspect I'm talking to gave me a lot of information this week that I've actually shared with some of the investigation team. And so we all have to help Liberia to find who's in charge of this thing, who's doing this thing, and just try to get it done, you know, get it sorted out so our country can move forward.
I know you're privileged to a lot of information. In fact, previous government, you talk about sanctions are coming. I remember a couple of interviews we had with you. You did talk about so sanction will come. People taking it for joke. People, you know, sanction will come, and it was not surprising when it came on some of the former government officials and stuff like that. One of the person in concern here that most of the people are talking about today is the vice president Jeremiah Cohen. What we if you was talking to him, what would you advise him to do at this stage? What would you advise him to do rather than trying to go on Facebook and, you know, what would you advise him to do at this point?
We had an interview with the former head of the Council of Churches, and I agree with what he said. He said we should, the VP should actually call a press conference and address this matter with the pictures and the people involved with the pictures, and just explain himself, you know, just clear the air on some things. And I think that would be best for him to do that. I would tell him to do that. If I see him, I would tell him. If I talk to him, I'll tell him. And I think that's the best approach because you're a politician today, you're going to be a politician tomorrow. So it's better you clear these things up now instead of having it come back to haunt you back in the future. So it's better you clear it up now. I think that's the best thing he can do for himself.
Have you ever heard that the VP was one of those who released the suspect Brown, or that he released? Have you ever heard something like that? There's some rumors going around.
Yeah, we heard other things. That's what I'm saying. It's good for him to have called a press conference. You know, the pictures were just one of the many things we've been hearing. And so, I know you issued a statement this week. But sometimes it's good to talk to people face to face. You know, just call a press conference and address this issue. A lot of things are in the air about him and these people, and I think with the pictures, I think it's important for him to just, you know, call a press conference and address those issues. No one's saying he's involved in drugs or anything, but the fact that you're a politician and you're a vice president for a country, when these things come out, you have to explain it. You have to clear the air before it gets worse.
Thank you. I'll go back to
Sylvester. That is a very important point you just that you're saying about the release issue. We're receiving a lot of information, and some folks in the lower house, even they are planning, before I go to Mr. Nagbe, they're planning this impeachment against the judge. Mm-hmm. But there was coordinated effort to get this guy released. The statement came from the Ministry of Justice, I'm told, coordinated this, wrote a very comprehensive note to the judge, and the judge acted in his constitutional responsibility, right? Because he said the guy was ill. They couldn't keep holding him in the cell, so he got to get out. But now there's this information we get in Mr. CA that there are certain folks in the lower house being influenced from somewhere higher to impeach this judge. Are you following that also?
No, I think what's happening is not actually how it's being interpreted. I think the county attorney, Deda Wilson, was supposed to appear this morning before the House, but she didn't appear. I'm told the judge, I'm not the judge, but it was determined that because she's, what do you call it? She's, I think Article 73, the Constitution suggests that, and he was advised, they were advised legally that the judge is prevented from appearing before the House because, so that, I think that was used today, so she didn't appear. But the other two people should have appeared also. So I don't think the question is, was she part of the release process? Because I was in prison, I went through that same process. It's not an easy process to go through. So I don't know how much involved she was in that process. And she was the judge in the case that sent the guy to prison. So how did he get out? Did she play a role in it? That's the question people are asking. And so I don't think she's I think she needs to explain some things too, because she was the judge and she had to sign the document before he left prison.
Yes.
The letter that I've seen, I don't see any. I don't see her signature on it, but it appears that some higher ups were CC'd and copied on the letter that released Michael Brown from prison.
Okay, Mr. Nangwe.
Yeah, thank you again, Sylvester. Rodney, it's good to see you, man. You're looking good.
Thanks.
Yeah, and thank you also for all that you do, especially on this case. A lot of voices have been raised, but I think you adding your voice, I think has increased the momentum for something to be done. And so thank you very much. And you're right. Article 73 gives the judges that immunity, to exercise their judicial decisions without being summoned by the House. I think it is Article 43 that also lays down the provisions for impeachment, which the legislature can do, but not summon the judge to justify the judicial discharge. So the CMC has also issued a cautionary note towards that. So we hope that our lawmakers will be careful with that. But I wanted to ask you this. You continue to speak about the tension within this government. Those who seem to be in favor of full disclosure, and those who I'm not sure if in the interest of caution, but those who seem to want anything less than full disclosure. Now, I know you've also been adamant that you think the president is genuinely interested in whatever outcome or wherever the investigation leads. But are you not concerned that he may be? There's some of us who feel that he could have responded more robustly than he has done. Maybe a statement, presidential statement, mount the podium. This is an existential crisis that the country is facing. I know he has made the remarks, in the presence of, the security forces and all of that. But are you hearing people feeling satisfied with the president's response to this crisis so far?
I know he addressed the matter before he left to go to Turkey. But I still think he could have acted earlier, but I think it would have too long for him to speak on it. And these things, if you don't put a voice on it early, it tend to creep up on your government, which is what's happening now. The government is right now in the panic mode, in damage control mode, trying to sort things out. And I think it's something that they need to really look into deeply. And the president has to be more forceful. He has to be more, I wouldn't say aggressive, but more vigilant in how he responds to this, because it has gotten to a point where people are just, asking questions. They need answers, and I think the investigation is going too slow for some people. But drug cases are very tough to deal with, because these drug people, they have money, they spend money on people in the country where they are, and they try to suppress information from coming out. And so it is very, very, difficult time for Liberia right now. But the president has to act quickly.
Right. Thank you. Sylvester, do I have another one?
Yes, you can go one more then way. But before you go the last one, just want to provide this to Rodney. The lady in question, she's not a judge, she's the county attorney.
Yeah, county attorney.
Yeah, she's the county attorney, and the case is still in pre-trial. How to call it pre-trial. It's still in the pre-trial detention. I mean, he was in the pre-trial detention, and the fact that the judge, any decision for the judge before the judge could take any decision whatsoever, depending on the kind of pre-trial detainees, they will have to take and seek an advice from the instruction or coordination with that of the county attorney. Because the case they had not finalized the case, so the judge could not act on his own to get it. So I think this instruction may have come from the county attorney,
right?
And she's the county attorney to the judge, basically, because that's the kind of information that's the information we receive, and I think that's the line. So she is the county attorney, not the judge. But I think she was saying something about coordination there with the judge. And the instruction may have come from up to her as the county attorney, and then she coordinated with the judge to get this guy out of prison. That's what I'm thinking here also, and that's what basically unfolded. But Mr. Nami, just move on with your second question. Then we move back.
Thank you for the clarification there, Sylvester. Running quickly. I don't know if you've spoken to IG Coleman. First of all, a lot of us are confused because the president had elevated this case to the national security level, and he is not the head of national security. Some of us believe he shouldn't have been the one, making the statement that he made on Saturday. All of that notwithstanding, why do you think it is that you're connecting the dots so quickly? I mean, you just broke the news of the driver to the LDEA acting director being a part of this, and several other names that were left off the list of not even persons of interest from the IG. Why do you think this is so?
Because I believe I have a lot of sources, a lot of people in the investigative team that we share information. And also, I think the government pace is a little bit slower because they have to do different things before they come out and have a press conference. I think they've only addressed this thing maybe one time at a national press conference since it happened. And then when they announced the charges on, I think it was the last week sometime, they announced they elevated from persons of interest to suspects. So, but like this week, for example, me speaking to one of the suspects, I was able to get information regarding the driver for the LDEA OIC in charge. I was also able to get some information about Leroy Harris, who owns the private bar in Painesville, and his role in the whole thing. I was able to get more information on Michael Brown and his connection to these two people that were arrested this week. And so we just have to, connect the dots from Paul King, Peter, the whole King brothers issue, GLS, and why is it that what's his name hasn't been charged? What's his name? Abdullah for express handling services. He was a person of interest. Now he's no longer considered a person of interest.
Right.
I know today at a trial today in Monrovia, Paul King, the DEA testified that Paul King offered money to what's the name, to one of the agents at the airport to have the packages passed through to go to Brussels. So I think that's one of the things they're holding him on. So all these things happening fast. Remember now, the last case involving the 100 million, that trial was also fast. but it didn't end well. It went against the government. So I hope the way it's going fast is not going to mean that they're going to just free people. Like we already lost a lot of suspects already
Right.
who are at large. So we don't know how this case is going to go.
Thank you very much, Sylvester back there. Just that a lot of us feel the slow pace alone will give people the opportunity to flee, which most of them have already done. But back to you, Sylvester.
Yeah, but Mr. Steve, if I can go back to Tony, you spoke of the issue of Paul King. So is it a recording of a telephone conversation between King and the alleged airport agent? Because we're getting some information that the DEA is saying that Paul King may have communicated via phone, or I don't know if it is text message. Is just a text message or just a voice communication?
Some of them were voice, some of them were text message, and I think that's what he got him on. He was texting them, telling them, "I will see you when I come back, and I will. If you let it go, I will give you something." That's what he was said in court today. That's what the DEA agent said in court today.
Yeah, but any information, and again, we haven't heard that also. And then due to information about this Emmanuel Pa, because Emmanuel Pa is fascinating. It's the individual that deposited went to the bank to do the transaction at the UBA bank. Mm-hmm. Is there any information about Emmanuel Pa? I know that
Emmanuel Pa is currently also missing. So I think after he made a deposit and exchange, he also ran away. So it's a network of people involved in this thing. You have the higher ups, at the lower people, you have the middle ground people. But I think the foot soldiers, Michael Brown, Leroy Harris,
yes,
Jonathan Momodu, those are the three people that are at the front of this whole thing.
Yeah, right, Michael Brown, Jonathan Momodu, and Leroy Harris.
Yes.
Then where is Tony in this?
Tony happens to be close to Michael Brown.
Okay.
They're longtime friends, and they worked together at the airport before. Although Tony said he hadn't seen Michael Brown in a long time, but we don't know, for sure what's happening.
Georgie.
I want to. I don't, because since you broke you came out with that revelation, that bombshell. I'm very sure the vice president office has reached you, or he himself has contacted you about that.
Yeah, I spoke to him on the Monday. I think I spoke to him Monday. Yeah, Monday. He actually called me Sunday also, and he was trying to explain to me that he doesn't really know Tony. That Tony was someone who hung around people in his office, and they're not really that close as people, portray them to be. But then Tony said he knows the VP, and so it just makes everything, kind of complex.
But
go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Rodney C. Junkies Morris from Freedom FM. Mm-hmm. My take is the vice president is saying he doesn't know Tony, but there are different footages showing the vice president and Tony together on different occasions, to include members of the vice president's family. How possible is it, Mr. Rodney C.A., I will shake your hand in my office. When you visited me in my office, I shake your hand, and you left. Then something happened, and people try to link you to me, and I come out to say I don't know you, when there is a clear evidence by the footage that is available that you, Mr. Rodney C., visited me in my office, and we interacted in my office tete-a-tete, one-on-one. So
and Rodney C. left too.
So
yes.
So the fact that the vice president will say he doesn't know Tony, this is the core of the matter and the crux of the matter, and this is what is raising alarm. Because there's no way that I will interact with Mr. Rodney C.A. by even shaking hands. I will say, I know Mr. Rodney C.A. How possible is it? Then the next time, Mr. Rodney C.A. and my wife was seeing a photo op. The next time Mr. Rodney C was seen in paraphernalia of mine, then I come to the public and inform the public that I have not had any close proximity to Mr. Rodney C. This is the conflicting issue, and I want to agree with Bishop Kotu Brown that the vice president will need to put aside politics and look at this matter as a matter of national concern and a matter that has to do with the integrity and dignity of our international image. So the vice president will need to come to the public and address the Liberian people in detail as to his connection with this Tony. Then the issue of doubt in the minds of Liberians can be laid to rest. That's my position, Mr. Rodney C. Mr. Pee.
Thank you. Morris. See, can you just speak to that before we move on, please?
Yeah, like I said, I think, and that's what he told me. He said this guy, he do him through people that work for him. So it does sound complicated. It does sound, complicated, and that's why I think he needs to explain himself properly on this issue, because he gives one answer and then the pictures say different thing. It's one thing to take a group picture, but to take someone shaking your hand in your office, someone taking a picture of your wife on different occasion, it does raises some red flags, and especially the vice president office in charge of the lottery agency where this guy works. So how did the guy get the job? Was he recommended by the vice president? All those things I think that people are looking at now. For drawing conclusions.
Quickly, let me just say, there's this issue also. There are folks are raising some concerns here about how the DEA got to know about this whole consignment thing. There was this weight differential, or what we call discrepancy. There was a communication that came from I think GLS to that of Brussels Airline, informing the airline about this discrepancy into the way bill. But the concern here, and how did the DEA get to know about this? Was it the GLS folks that informed them about this, or did they pick it up on their own intelligence?
Well, what I gathered from the suspect this week is that the airport staffer, I think there's a lady called Ruth, and River says were the two people that really raised the alarm. It wasn't any GLS or EHS. So I think that information may have some untruth to it.
But we have a communication from GLS informing.
That's what I'm saying. The GLS communication may have some fault to it, because for what I'm hearing is that it was the airport staffer that raised the alarm, not GLS, about the suspicious package.
So there was no discrepancy in the weight that led to the airline not, because we've been having information that those drugs they clear, and the only reason was due to the discrepancy in the weight.
Yeah, it was discovered after the.
Ronnie, before you answer this, let me add this to it. What Peabody said: the consignment should have left the country. It was set to leave the country on the 5th of June. Now, because GLS, I'm told from some reliable sources that GLS raised some major concern about the discrepancy of the wheel bill, and then informed that's part of the reason. And I think police authority of the DA authority acknowledged that also, that GLS raised this concern, and the consignment did not leave on the 5th of June. And then it was now set to leave on the 8th of June when the whole thing got busted up, and then it came this way that they hit it up. But it was actually set to leave on the 5th. And GLS just raised this issue. And because of that concern from the GLS, it did not leave on the 5th of June. Then it was now set to leave on the 8th, and then this whole thing came about. I don't know the detail now, so how it was busted up. The information is that we have certain folks in the airport that also raised some concern and other things unfolded. But on the 5th, we're basically talking about the 5th when GL raises concern. So that is it's a little bit complicated here. So we want to know if, and that's what folks are asking, did the DEA know about this on the 5th of June, that GLS raised some concern, and due to that concern, the consignment did not get on Brussels Air.
The initial, if you read the initial report from the different agents that were at the airport, they all said they recognized something wrong with that package, and they contacted DEA. The DEA was called in. They never said they contacted GLS. They said they contacted DEA. So that's what I think is the official comment from the report.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Welcome. We have with us tonight, Mr. Rodney Sie, the managing editor of the Front Page News Africa. He's here. We're discussing again. We're going back to this $19 million drugs issue in Liberia. So there are a lot of very much complication into the whole case, but the government is getting involved. So we have Mr. Sie will be with us tonight for the next 1 hour or so. Then but we just want to welcome you. Then we just make a brief welcome statement. Then we move back to P. Bali and then Mr. Nangwe, and then we'll come back to you later.
Yeah, thank you, Pee-wee, for moderating. And let me say good evening from my end in Liberia to all of you. Mr. Rodney Sie, I'm happy to be sharing this platform with you. I've heard about you a lot of times, but I've not had the time to have this level of engagement. So I'm happy to see you on the show, sharing the platform with me and my colleagues. And we hope we can discuss this issue with some level of sincerity and truthfulness so that Liberia's interest is what we'll be concerned about. As you know, cocaine is a serious drug within the context of human society, especially a poor country like Liberia. So I'm happy to be here. I hope we can have the conversation. And your presence here will provide more information based on your journalistic and your capacity. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, P-Bali?
Yeah. Ron, always good to have you. Having an expert like you when it comes to investigation and investigative journalism, it helps us a lot, knowing a lot, and that's what I always tell people. You're one of those who Liberia is proud to have. You don't bite. You can be the best friend when you hit, whether you know them or not. When it comes to reporting, you've always kept Liberian people informed, and educated them. And I love reading your website. In fact, at work, all I read is Front Page Africa. And every time you come up with a story, we see the reality of that story. Something happened. Especially, I remember last year when you talk about, a couple of years ago when you talk about sanctions are coming, and people took it for a joke, and then we didn't. Again, we saw that. But let me ask you, I want to pick it back to something you said here, that Mr. Brown works at the National Lottery, and which is the vice president office kind of oversee that department. So, question coming to my mind, that the vice president say he doesn't know this guy, they don't have any. If it's proving that the vice president knows him, how embarrassing would this be for Liberia?
The issue was written. I asked him how he got the job. He said he was vetted. He said he applied for a job and he was vetted. He gave his resume and stuff. But the vice president also told me that this guy, you're someone who was always around some of his employees and stuff. And he was giving them his resume to find a job for him. And I don't know whether one of the jobs that he was asking for or not, but he was lobbying for job through, according to the vice president, through people who were close to him. But then the VP was already involved in hiring of people in the government after the UP won the election. So whether he directly handpicked this guy to be at lottery or it hasn't been explained. So I think that's why we need him to have a press conference to answer these questions with the press face to face.
Yes,
because you don't know.
It's difficult now. The fact that he's dressed, it's going to be difficult to fix this, Mr. Sie.
Yeah, you don't know this guy, but you are aware and you are in the know that this guy was lobbying your office to go at the lottery authority. Yeah. But you don't know this guy, but you are aware that he was lobbying your office to go at the
It's
literature.
gonna be. So we're gonna take calls. The first batch of calls soon, but we'll just go around again. We'll take Mr. Nangwe. We'll go from you, then we'll come to Tumani. Then
No,
then
Johnny haven't spoken.
Oh, Johnny. Oh yeah, Johnny that did it. Okay, but Johnny, we'll take it with you know, so
It's
our nephew
okay,
or
so
something. So
Derek can go out. I can go after him. That's okay.
yeah. So
No,
Johnny,
I will. Pee-wee, I will allow Mr. Nangbe and
Okay.
Tutumani to go on Sam Judge Johnny. Then I will
Okay.
tune
then you close
in
it,
and
right?
come back.
Okay, then
Yeah.
when you close, then we then move to the first batch of calls. Then we move on.
Yeah.
But Mr. Nami, go ahead, please, and then from there we go
Okay.
with the Chief Judge.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Welcome. Ronnie, let me ask you this. Some of us started gaining a little bit of courage from the Senate seeming to have finally found its voice on this matter. I mean, we've heard so many strong opinions from Senator Vapla, Senator Dillon, Senator Amarakone, Senator Snow. But now it looks like there is also an equal and opposite attempt to blunt out their voices. We've seen today the Senate had to invite in, our friend Brother Bokeh, Bokeh Nangwe, and the Civil Service Director. I think Bokeh may have written some things that the Senate, two senators especially, Snow and Kone, feel are kind of trying to disparage their effort to raise this matter. And then we saw Fargon, a lot of people, of course, all the heavyweights, I guess, try to intimidate the hearing. Should we be concerned that they could succeed in trying to distract us and kind of blunt out the message here that we want this matter to to be brought to its logical conclusion?
I think officials of government who are resisting reportage and also resisting scrutiny of this drug investigation, they do not mean well for the government, because even the president is not happy with what's happening. And so if the president is not happy with what's happening and you are questioning senators who are raising questions about this thing, then perhaps maybe you are part of the problem in the government. And I think, as you saw today with the Nangbe testimony before the Senate, he couldn't really explain why he made those comments about the senators. So it's very annoying to see them doing it. They don't know how to respond to things intellectually, so they resort to insults and cussing of Ma and Pa. So that's all they know how to do, it seems, and that's not a good thing for any government.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, those of when we are not advising the government, but the president could really, issue a statement admonishing his functionaries, actors. I mean, from the Ministry of Education down to some of his senior cabinet officials. They seem to be going the opposite direction that he is going, and that in itself is chaotic. It's part of the problem that a lot of us have observed about this government, the chaos, But again, I think we made a point that the president, we think he has not been as forceful on this matter as he could be. But thank you, Sylvester. Back to you.
Georgie.
Yeah, Rodney, I know a lot of people watching this show, a lot of people from the government I see watching this show. I know they have been interested into what you've been saying. But I have two questions. My first one is that, I mean, many Liberians now believe that the pressure is coming, but I want you to reassure the Liberian public, the Liberian international public, that you will not relent, and you get to the bottom of this, that you will not relent, you will not, because people think you will go slow, since the pressure, they're attacking you now, you go slow and so forth. But can you give that reassurance that knowing who you are, you will not relent, that you will get to the bottom of this, and we'll see that this drug cartel is dismantled. Because people say the first drug is not something easy, they can kill you for that thing, and people can die for it. But can you just give the people that assurance that you will not relent.
I think I have a track record in Liberia when it comes to investigative journalism, and I always say we have three branches of government: the executive, judiciary, and the legislative branch. And the media, the press, is always the fourth estate. So if the three branches of government fall short, it behooves us as media reporters and journalists to put the government and keep them in check. And that's what we're doing. I've never started a process or project that I never finish. And I think if you leave things unfinished, it affects your livelihood, your existence. So it's good to make sure that this investigation is completed, and even if the government comes out with a finding, I think I've amassed enough information to know when they're bullshitting us or when they actually doing some serious investigative work. So we talk to the same people. I've talked to people. They talk to people. I see something that's affect, the country in a way. I tell them where some of the suspects are. I mean, not where they are, but what they're doing. I mean, what they're thinking and the fears and stuff, and see how they respond, and that kind of like gives me an idea of whether they're serious or not. And we have to keep them on the toes. They have to know that we are on close to the same page with the investigation. And much of what I shared, the verified information I received, were about 99% of what they had. So it tells you that they know what I have, they know what I can do and what I'm capable of doing. So they can't bullshit Liberian people. This investigation will be completed, and we'll find out where this thing lies.
So, and then my last question. So, do you? I mean, like this investigation. This is the first time that some of this drug issue started in Liberia. I've come to this point where, if you have raised a national consciousness and everybody's involved, and nowadays people who are dating, who I know wasn't paying attention. Like somebody just asked me to send it. Got a parent one that need to be sent. They said, please send me the stuff on YouTube, the YouTube link. And people are watching it because people are not concerned about this thing. It's creating a lot of awareness. But
Dominic, let Junkies please announce. People are asking to what radio station to tune to in
Junkies, please announce it. You muted, Johnson.
Yeah, we're not getting. Yeah,
Yes, you were right. You can tune into Freedom FM 87.9 and Truth FM 96.1. We are relaying the closing argument here on this radio. So Freedom FM 87.9, you can tune in and listen.
Yeah, and quickly, Maurice, we will immediately after 2 minutes, then we'll go to Johnny, and then thereafter we'll take the first batch of callers, and then we go in the discussion again for the next 30 minutes, and we finalize the calls, then we take leave of our guests. So we're going to be going to the line soon, folks. We just want to thank you. Stay tuned, and there's a lot more. We told go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, quickly. So, do you? I mean, like I said, this investigation is getting deeper. Like my friend, why Margot Gimmick can say, we're digging deeper. So, and as we dig deeper, do you see that? Do you foresee there will be a situation where it may lead to people being dismissed, people being fired, or the president will be forced to he'll be forced to act as big names come. You think people will be even impeached? People will be forced to resign. Do you see it coming to that point?
Well, the president is very conservative, so I think he's waiting for a lot of things to come into his hand. I'm told he already knows some things that are happening, some people who are involved, and I think at the right time he will make the steps he needs to take to make this thing go away. So I think eventually, once he sees the overwhelming connections that are being, the data being connected, I think he will do the right thing for Liberia's sake. I don't think he will be able to shield anybody when this is done, because the way the investigation is going, I mean, it's clear that some big hands are involved. And yes, they got the mules like Jonathan Momolu and Leroy Harris and Michael Brown at the front, but the other people at the top of them, and those people are the ones that we have to be looking at to see who and where they are now, and how big and how long is this thing, how high does it go, and that's what we're looking at. That's what we're hoping this investigation will achieve.
Thank you, Johnny. We will let you move on. Then we will then move quickly to something to take. Raul, welcome. We move on. Then we take the first batch of calls, and then we move on. You move on, then we'll just take a brief statement from Raul, then we take the first batch of calls. We got to go. We're running out of time. Go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you, Mr. C. Rodney, do you have an idea about the Sahara media agency that's providing information around about Africa and other parts of the world? And how can you confirm how authentic this media agency is as a journalist, if you have any idea about them?
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure where they're based, but I know that when I was interviewing one of the suspects this week, they did mention that what the Sahara Report did makes a story available that Leroy, not Leroy, but the private bar has shut down, and then they opened again. So that information was kind of accurate. So I guess they have some people to talk to and get some information from them too. So, but they mentioned, I heard that from the suspect I'm talking to. He told me that happened. So he saw it on the site, on the Sahara Reporter site. So that's
because Sahara Report has reported that since 2024 to the current cocaine burst, this is the 50th case. That means we have had 49 situations or instances where cocaine has been transported through Liberia. Can that also be authenticated by you
I don't know about 50, but I know that this is not the first time it's been happening. And the fact that there's a network entrenched at the airport, it's possible that this is maybe multiple times. I don't know if it's 50, but it's a lot of times they've been doing it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. Quickly, Raul, you have the last say before we go to the lines. So just briefly, if you can, because you just joined us, we have Rodney C. here tonight with us. So we are discussing this $19 million of drug situation currently unfolding in Liberia. I know Rodney is the Front Page Africa managing editor, and he came off of some very serious. It's a topic. It's a topical issue now in the entire Republic of Liberia. I mean, those of us here in the diaspora, we're moving with this. So we are interacting tonight. So you have the last say, and we'll come back. We'll do other rounds, but then you go ahead and we'll move onto the lines.
Thank you, Rodney. Welcome to the closing argument. Thank you for availing yourself. I've been following conversations, specifically your report, with regard to deep diving into this investigation, and it appears as though you are further ahead with this investigation than the government of Liberia, and I'm wondering how so. Because the government of Liberia, you do not have the intelligence and the resources that the government of Liberia have, both domestically and internationally, though you are a renowned journalist in Liberia whose voice transcends beyond local politics. But all of the information so far that you've disclosed, with multiple sources that we've spoken to on our own and what we've seen out there so far validates what you're saying. And so I want you to help me understand and help others who appears to be baffled at at the pace that the government is going with this investigation, and the pace that journalists like yourself have gone with this investigation. How are you able to um, to get some information? How are you able to do what you are doing with the limited resources and intelligence that you have, and the government seems to be far behind? Or is this a deliberate attempt in this investigatory process by the government to shield the top figures that you talk about? So I want you to answer that question and just kind of blend this in there. We're talking about top people, right? Those people at the very top of government, and it's clear that from all indication that there are individuals within our security sector, and there are people within in high places that are behind this drug. But why does it appear as though we are being too careful? It seems like we're being way more careful relative to naming names, while the potential suspects figure out where to flee the country. This is about Liberia, Rodney, and I know that you have to protect your sources. But don't you think this could backfire if we continue to be careful with naming names, and especially those top people that we're talking about, while they figure out escape routes? Why don't we just name names and just throw it out there?
Yeah, I think that's one of the mistakes the government investigators made in the beginning, because they were very careful about putting names out there. But when I was doing the investigation, for example, the phone call that Paul King made, that Rahim Ba made to Paul King, I was able to, and some of these things are very easy to do. I was able to, I got the copy of, obtained copy of Paul King's letter to statement to the police investigators, and the phone number in there, when I search it, and it's easy to do it. I mean, if you send somebody on the mobile money, like you send them $1 or 50 cents,
the name will come up.
The owner of the number will show up.
Yes,
and that's how I was able to find out that number belonged to Michael Brown, and we later discovered that Rahim Ba was a ghost. So these are simple things, stupid tools that I use for my years' experience of doing things. And so, and also the Emmanuel Pa, he was the guy who went to the bank to deposit the money into GLS account. I mean, he was in UBA Bank for about 2-3 weeks ago, and he escaped. So the fact that they were shielding this thing from the public, we could have helped them find out where these people were. But it seems like, and that's how the public seem to think that some higher ups are involved, because they allow these people to escape. Because if Emmanuel Pa was in the bank at UBA, there must have been a way they could find him.
That's right.
Michael Brown was hiding in Smeno Taste until I think last week he left to go to Ghana. So these are things that I think they help from the public that could have helped them arrest these people. But I think somehow maybe the investigation, or some of the people in the investigation, may know more than they're telling, and they're allowing these people to leave the country deliberately. It doesn't make sense, and I think it begs the question: how is this thing unfolding? And the reason I'm able to sometimes get ahead of them is because when I get information, I don't just put it out. I have to verify it before I put it out. And when I asked them, and they would tell me, yes, this is true, we got this person, and this is, so that's how I'm able to, but they can put it out because they're still investigating. But if I hear something that I am told, or document that I have, or images that I have, I mean, I can share with them and verify whether this is the right information before I put it out. So that's how I think I'm a little bit ahead of it, but it's just a technique I use. I use it when I do Knucklegate Scandal. You know, I used all these things before years ago. So it's a gift too. It's a gift, and I sacrifice my life for this country. I don't work for government. I don't want a government job. This is what I was born to do. So I think it's important the public needs to know some things, because part of knowing, for example, yesterday when one of the suspects told me about Jonathan Momolu and Leroy, I made my contacts and they said, oh yeah, we already got Momolu in custody. He was picked up already with a lawyer, and we're monitoring Jonathan. And then last night, Jonathan was still out. So I'm like, but you told me Jonathan was going to be arrested or something. So
But I heard he went back to the airport. He was back to the airport at work. That's the
he went
information.
there yesterday. Yeah. So kind of things like that happen, and you have to keep them on the toe that you know that these things are happening. Because this guy, mind you, he's on the payroll for the airport as a security officer. For almost 2 years, he has not been to work at the airport. He works with the DEA director as a driver, as an errand boy. So why would you have a job at the airport and spend all your time at the DEA?
Yeah.
So that's a red flag. And the fact that he's very close to Leroy and Michael Brown, he should not be out. If anybody here that this guy has escaped Liberia, it will be on the fault of the government, because they already know who he is. They already know what he has done, who he's close to. And that's how Michael Brown escaped, because his name was out there. They knew Rahim Ba, because if I can figure out through mobile money that Rahim Ba was Michael Brown, they had that information at least 2 days before I had it. So they could have apprehended Emmanuel Pa and Michael Brown, and they would have them in country today, but they're gone, because sometimes the government is like 2 steps behind the rest of the country in terms of how this investigation is going.
Yes.
Can I ask one last
Thank you.
30-second
No,
question,
Brad, let's go
please?
to the court.
Just one last 30-second question. Just 30 seconds, please. Just
Please, we have to go to the court.
I
please.
know.
Go-
So I just want you to just based on your own knowledge of this case, do you trust this president and his leadership on this matter? Because remember, this has been ongoing for weeks now, and we only have one suspect, who is Paul King. Do you trust how they're handling this case? And when you listen to the words of the president, as we have done in the past, on whether it was the $10 million villa, and had he known about it, he would have done this, and when he knew about it, he did nothing about it. Do you trust the words of the president, and does it really mean something? And should Liberians, right, who are skeptical about the weakness of this president when it comes to these serious matters and what he says, his actions matching his words, do you really trust that he's taking this seriously, and that people will truly get held accountable for this?
I think the president is a little bit slow behind in terms of the investigation. From what I've gathered now, and what I know now, talking to some of the suspects who are outside and other sources I've been speaking to, the president has to know by now that some of his people are involved in this thing. And how he handles it may decide his legacy. And mind you, Liberia is a very strange country. It's not the first time it's happening. A few years ago, during Madam Salif government, we were investigating this story about rape. And this Lebanese guy, they found in his house about 3 dozen videotapes of him having sex with young girls, underage girls. He was tried and found guilty. and we followed that story from beginning to end. Mysteriously, this guy escaped from Central Prison, or he was allowed to leave Central Prison. That was during Madam Salif's time. George Weah government, the same thing happened with this $100 million drug bust. Suspects from Guinea-Bissau, from Portugal, others were arrested. Somehow they beat the system, and before day broke, they were gone. Now we have this case. We have to understand that drug money, and that's why I keep emphasizing this government to be very careful, because if you don't handle this crisis properly, drug money, you don't know where it's coming from, where it's going. Drug money can go to coup d'etat, it can go to a civil war, because the money from those drug people can be used for anything. And if the government doesn't put this thing in check, one day we wake up one morning, we'll say there's a coup in Liberia. We got money floating around. With drug money, you can buy anybody. You can buy people at the border. You can buy people at the airport. You can buy people in the ministries, in the president's office. That's why the president has to take this thing very seriously. And I hope those who are around him will do the right thing, not just for him, but for Liberia, because we cannot afford to go to conflict again. Right now in Sierra Leone, and we have to pray that what's happening here doesn't duplicate what's happening in Sierra Leone. But the Dutch fugitive lives in Sierra Leone. And every government official in Sierra Leone in his pocket. The Dutch cannot even get him out. They've been trying for years, for months. They can't get him out. He's been to Liberia a couple of times according to my investigation. And some people in Liberia know him and have connection to him. We have to pray that this guy does not put a footprint in Liberia. And we have to be very, very mindful that the way we handle this case could decide the next generation's future, our next generation, our unborn children. If you walk around the city today, you see people breakdancing in the street, they on kush or some other high drugs, and their bodies going into different motions and stuff. It's the drugs. People in high school, colleges doing, it's something that we have to pay attention to. And that's why I'm dedicating myself and my work and my paper to this process, because we have to make sure that this evil menace don't destroy us. That's how we have to approach it.
Okay, thank you. The second phase of our discussion is going to center on that, actually, the issue about if we have folks protecting these drug laws, and particularly what's unfolding in Sierra Leone, it's going to affect the country. Tevi, quickly, let me welcome you, and we are just about to go to the line, so we will give you the time immediately we'll be back to have the opportunity to interact with Mr. C. Morris, please open the line so we can have folks back home to participate, because this is very important. And Mr. C, the point you just said is serious. All the community, in the Banansville, the Painesville, the Dixville, all over the place, Claratown, Newtown, everyone's doing this zombie kind of a dance now. It's damaging the local one, it's damaging the country. So, and the next phase also, we're going to focus if Liberia is nearing to a narco state. We're going to be focused on that. Yeah. Sure. Please, Morris, can you
yes. Down, please? The closing argument on Freedom FM 87.9. You can call us on 0776 104 104, 0776 104 104, 086 500 104, 086 500 104. Our WhatsApp line is plus 231 86 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104. Our live stream followers, thanks for following. Keep watching. This is Freedom FM 87.9, the closing argument. Our first caller on line 1. Hello, your name is joining us from where?
Yeah, Hello, my name is Mr. Fakwe. I join you from Ghana.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I say thank you again to the CEO of Foundation Africa. So you see the message for people that are involved in those cases are top-notch people in Nigeria. So the thing that they put the IG is doing, just getting on the ground, man, the mayor of Opani, Poor King, Peter King, that people are not ready for this investigation right now. Because they are very overdue, almost 1+. We need to know the main source. How did they just enter the country? We put a finger in this news. How did they went to Parking House? We need to know the main people of this just who brought it just in the country. Thank you for your time.
We'll leave you there and go to line 2. This caller, the closing argument. Virtual Bar, welcome to the platform.
Yeah, thank you for recognition. Thank you, my brother. Look, let me tell you. When the thing you were telling with a man, you said the man what today, the drug that you're bringing the country, you're exporting from Allah below your own. The person you want destroying the bank government. That today, I really see that. You are ashamed because you are not a people. And you are bringing the trouble. I can assure you, you don't have I can assure you, you don't have you will say the bills on our bill will get on the street and we send messages to the international committee. They drop the work of I can assure you. They will not go on carpet. When we talk, you want to have the water breakdown, you want to have the water for job, you want to break in job, the one that will get on the street and send messages to the international committee. All the party will get a captain and say that we tell the whole world that in order to know that because we or must be they trust that what international people to investigate. We don't want to trust the police director in the cookie jar. All the problem is in the cookie jar. Who can not explain? All the things in the cookie jar. Then the cookie investigate. Thank you very much.
Line 3, this caller.
Yeah, good evening.
Welcome.
You know, that's when I call you from Jacobstown. Now, let me appreciate you so much. I joined the conversation a little bit, but regarding the issue of drugs, so I want to be my point a little bit. The issue of this drug saga. I mean, we all know when Biago took over, we saw the robust measure he brought into the operation of the LDA. But considering the recent 19 million drugs, it will show that the things that are involved are directly the ones who are controlling the country. Quite recently, I listened to one Anthony Denuka, who has been connected, with photo issue with the vice president. Because people who know the Denuka, the Anthony guy question around the Maggie, they will tell you definitely that Denuka Anthony is connected to the issue of drugs in Nigeria. It's not a secret. All the Maggie County, all the fire street, all the town hill, Denuka has been involved with the issue of drugs. So my fear is that if the relationship with the vice president are about income, then the vice president will be excluded. But if the people that he say is really the vice president, I think so that the vice president is not far from the issue of the 19 million Irish. So we have to be very careful with our people. Because it shows that the leaders, our leaders, we should learn to vote them. And because the matter of change, the previous administration was voted out. One of the slogans that they chanted was the issue of drugs and culture. Now they brought you, military get into your leadership, you have been cutting the web of $19 million drugs, but drugs that could damage the entire population of this country. I mean, we got to be very serious. Anthony Denuka, go to Faston, all in Maggie County is heavily connected. There are a lot more information. I wish I had the opportunity more time to take more of a thing than Denuka.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll leave it there and go back to line 1. This caller, your name and where are you calling us from? You are coming in faint. make adjustment and call back. This caller online too, your name and you joining us from where? This is the closing argument. Hello? Oh. Hello?
Yeah, no, good evening.
Yeah, go ahead. Your name and where you calling us from?
I'm Jerry Willing calling from District number 6 to be precise, but
Quickly, no time.
what relationship saying that the important one I'm seeing is it does in favor of cool. And I think that we don't have good security because I know that it will come with vision and then it will have vision, brother. So everybody got to be careful. I don't see what because what I'm looking at, vision would be inside and that would be embarrassing and the problem. What they're saying those money to bring cool, to be anything, to disrupt the whole system, everything will be chakra. So everybody be careful. Thank you very much.
So myself will be careful too. And this caller online too. Hello. This caller, hello.
How are you doing?
How are you? Welcome to the platform. This is the closing argument.
I'm George Tama calling from.
We have Honorable Rodney C. as our guest.
Thank you. The little Rodney, thank you for suffering the country. They all will pay a riot to damage. God bless.
Oh God. Hello, this caller. We speaking governance issue, and you come here with politics. Hello.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Welcome. This is the closing argument.
I want to close the argument. I'm Abraham King, Dupley, and I'm called from Busa Island. My concern has to do with the welfare of the journalist, Mr. King. I want to admonish him to be very careful. Talking about drugs, talking about cartel. There may not be somebody here, but the cartel is a network, and I hope he's safe and let him keep safe. That people are following him, that he can give us the information as he is deemed it necessary. Those that will need to know that he needs to work on, he can work on it to have tools, though, but he has to keep himself safe because this is very tough and it's very interesting. Every station he's going to that he's on, everybody is going to such station and they're listening. We appreciate you for that, but I advise that he keep crying. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. We'll leave you there and go to line 3. Hello, your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, hello, my name is Johnson David, and I'm calling from the Borough of Kuta.
Quickly.
Yeah, I want thank you very much, Mr. T. We get our support because I've been following you from time immemorial. Even the sitting there that are kids, you were in a banker, putting me as a king. But there's one thing that nobody ever said that I foresee that the police director is saying in a discussion, in an investigation. The Emmanuel Zionga, whose name was placed on the tackle that was moving. And then he assaulted the police director following the next day, and he was lost the next day. He came back in first. The press conference was that Emmanuel Zionga, student at the University of Liberia, and so he's important. So Kwame excluded him already. So this Emmanuel Zionga, anybody found in possession of illegal substance, it does not mean it's a crime. It's now if I can't call him my hand, I don't intend to do anything. Or the police catch that with him. They will say they will charge you for in possession of illegal arms. So this president Emmanuel Zionga, whose name was placed on the cargo before one people check he has called it. Why is he not mentioned in this indictment? That's my question.
Okay, you call us, those overseas, you can call us on our WhatsApp line +231 886 500 104. +231 886 500 104.
So, Maurice, if we have the time, if you can take the next the 5 calls, then we can come back and then we'll get back to the potential calls, if you can do that.
Okay, this caller, your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Clipper. I'm calling from Kyle and Joy Junction.
Go ahead, 4 more callers.
to be precise, Kapata. I thank you very much for the program. I want to take this particular time to thank Mr. Thank you very much for the energy. So this is Liberia. We got to be serious because just one of the things that he said I really know bring me to say that a big thing about it is that drugs doesn't have a boundary. It can be anybody. You may find it today or you may say politics about it today, but tomorrow when you are not there, your children will be there. And if you don't find it today, it will affect your children or your unborn children that you're going to born. So this is very much important. I just want to caution you to be careful because this is the unity party. They don't like criticism. This is not the CDC that you criticize and you walk free. The unity party are very desperate for power. You want to get into power. You got to be serious. You got to be careful. You got to pray God for unity, for exposing the evil deeds of the people in the government. So thank you very much. I don't have much to say. You want to be careful.
I got one caller here. 1 second. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm calling for Stati Ale.
Go ahead.
Now we know when Avi Kroma was over there, there was a conspiracy against him when they moved him from there. Because we understand everything now. Because the people know when Avi was going to remain over there, everything that's going on over there, they're not going to be able to do it. You see, the police director always against Avi to move Avi from there. Let us be realistic to ourselves. Those people just pretending to love Liberia. They don't love Liberia. I'm telling you something serious. In fact, if people talk about it, the only thing that even make me mad, they keep bringing a $100 million case. And because of that $100 case, they move CDC government from there. So you want to tell me again because of, say you're comparing yourself with CDC government, which you move you from there again because of the $90 case. I mean, the people don't even have no argument. The moment you talk about it, they say, oh, CDC was here, $100 million case. So what was the problem? Hey, you're looking for cheese?
Let's do it.
All right, thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. Morris, we'll take the last, we got distracted from the home base callers. So we'll take the last 3 calls from there. Then we'll take open the line for a couple of guys here to place some calls.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, so you're the third to the last caller. Your name and where are you joining us from? This is the closing argument on Freedom FM 87.9.
I joined from Broadville.
Go ahead.
I think Renisio, let me tell you thank you. But I think you need to do more to teach a lot of people what a drug cartel is. Even most of the color coding, they are just missing the issue. Because in my mind, even some of the journalists, even some of the panelists over there, I mean, a drug cartel is like a CIA operation. People will not operate like a billable setup. I mean, people think some of them are not even near yet. So, I mean, we don't know what a drug cartel is. There are people who get find easily. I mean, so you know some people because I listen most of the call it the president bring drugs. The president they start a drug cartel. The president bring drugs, you arrest who drugs. Then you will arrest who drugs. So we need to understand how drugs been work. Drugs been not paid about selling. They're not grabbing market. You will not find people easily. That's not almost like CIA operation. If you watch some of the movie, that's what we are seeing. I mean, we not even operate. It's not raw cash to play with. Yeah. So I mean, when they say you know how it goes from other people here.
Thank you. We take the second to the last caller. Hello. Welcome. Go ahead. By God's grace, I'm gathered. Go ahead. This is the closing argument.
Yes, thank you. My name is Ibrahim of Vision from and I do appreciate the ongoing studio. I'm talking about the journalists.
Yeah, Rodney C is here as our guest.
Yeah, I've been following, years now, and I can remember sometime back when, the government, I don't know which now, I can't really remember, but a certain government dropped this thing, and people say, yeah, but I think for his, investigating, aspect concerning this, 19 million, so I think that is what now, I think the government is really starting to really do, the represent people's justice. But like what you were saying concerning drugs money, as as bringing any problem with the country, just day before yesterday was in Grand Battle. Other all went to sell, I think lasted 9 years old. After selling one checking the money, or so far went to him, the person the money and then when the premium resumed the metal and also up on his side and then took it on the chest of the chicken. At the end of the day, he was taken to the hospital, he died. So, you got some of the thing, a government that said yesterday that, we are coming to change the narrative at the end of the day. When anyone see that, it become the enemy of the state, and these are the small problem. People will be outside of government and things that are not right, but when it comes to a position, that becomes different.
Okay.
So, thank you very much. We pray that you continue to go and we'll see the end of this. 19 million workers. Thank you.
Our final caller here, your name and where are you joining us from?
Yes, Georgie, this is Derek King. I joined from my residence in Phoenix.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Good evening to Mr. C. Mr. C, I would like to commend you, Hanley, for your investigative role that you have played in this entire drug saga. Because for the onset of the entire drug saga in our country, the government has been reneging. It's for help the entire thing to where it is. But my own fear has to do because to see, I know you have been coming on barrage of threats from these other people. But we pray with you that God will continue to guide you. And you continue to keep you. I want to individuals doing the health when you were ill at the central prison when you feel sick. And you took you to JFK in handcuffs. Who is the one who identified for you to be where he is. We know the role you play in our country as it relates to genocide. So I just hope and pray God continue to guide you in this troubling time. Because you are being, like I said, you are being like the light for the entire thing to be exposed to be where it is today. So we just pray with you every other time. Whenever I lie down in my bed, I pray for you and your family for protection. So we don't have to go after people.
Okay.
So we pray, we are afraid of for your life. And we pray that God will guide you in this troubling time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I got a caller from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, before we take that caller from Newark, get hold of him. Morris, who will put close to the calls from the homeland. We'll get back to you to conclude the guests for the last batch of callers. So go ahead.
Because my time is almost up.
Yes.
Let me take the caller from Newark, New Jersey, and then Go ahead, man. Introduce yourself.
Ronnie is Bob Grace, calling from Newark, New Jersey. I just want to say hats off to the veteran journalist there, Mr. C, for all the good work he has been doing. You know, Mr. C, people will call you opposition because when you're talking about the mass, people say, oh, that means opposition. Because with all you, we couldn't hear some of the names that been called today or yesterday, we couldn't hear that name. So I just want to say thank you very much. Continue to do the best thing for the Liberian people. So at least, so we can be on track because the drug issue is not just one-sided issue. It's a whole entire global issue, and especially to narrow it to Liberia because people are dying. Our young people are dying. Our young generation is going down the drain. So thank you. Continue to do whatever you say right now. People say is bad thing. Those are on the right side. They say one side say it's bad, but right now is the best thing that you ever do, and God will continue to bless you and see you forward. Continue to do what you do. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Maurice, so we'll do this quick. We got 1 minute with you. I don't know. We can take the last just take the last 3 callers, and we're going to close from that, and then going to be the find us out the calls coming in. Then we'll get back to the second segment of this with Mr. C. We have Tevi is on the standby to start that.
Mr. P, my time here is up. I got
it's up already. Okay, we will say thank you, Morris. It's 11 p.m. already in Liberia. We'll say
so I will just close.
Yeah, just close.
I will just close by saying to you guys, thanks for remaining consistent on this matter, because it is concerning. It is about the future of our country. And I want to admonish Mr. Rodney C.A. to remain persistent, because persistence brings positive results. So I want to say all of us need to put our hands on deck to make sure that we stem this menace in a bud and make sure that it does not suffice to destroy our society, where young people will be all on Broad Street and taking in drug, people all in the communities. In fact, our parents now are afraid to even stop these young people unscrupulous attitude, because when they are in their drug, they do anything that their mind tell them to do. So it is just overwhelming the entire environment. So all of us will need to remain consistent. And Mr. Rodney C., let us keep it on and make sure that we fight this together. Thank you, and see you on tomorrow on the closing argument.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. So, Mr. C, thank you for being with us again. We just
I think this guy is going
Morris
to
got to mute.
He gone. Yeah, you go.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mr. C. We are about to move to the last segment of this and this aspect of the show. And thank you for actually taking
Can we take one more call? It's okay.
Yes, we can take one more call. We can take one more call from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, April, go ahead.
Thank you, Dad. I appreciate it, man. Let me say good evening to all of you, and then good afternoon or good evening to the studio guest, Rodney, in this case. Let me say thanks to Rodney for your journalistic work that you are doing in the interest of the nation. Quick question. On the international scene, I think I heard you, it was yesterday on one of the sister platforms, that you talk about the popping up of so-called entertainment centers and then, bars and other things in Liberia. My question here is that now that you mentioned about Sierra Leone's connection in this case, the drug baron that is in Sierra Leone. Isn't it a situation that we should be questioning some of the activities that emanating from Sierra Leone, like companies that the Liberian government is doing business with in Sierra Leone in terms of maybe the road construction and other things? Do you have, or are you skeptical of some of the businesses that are emanating from Sierra Leone today that Liberian government has signed business with? Are you questioning, for instance, in this case, Papa 4? Can we logically, because you guys talk about money laundering, because mind you, drug barons, they use those scanty entities to clean their monies. Is that a situation that's on your radar, please? Secondly, are you in the position to name anybody of prominence in Liberia that this particular baron visited and then managed to kind of really hang up in Liberia, or kind of had a formal interaction with Liberia? Are you prepared to bring any of those individuals to the limelight so that Liberians can understand how this guy got into Liberia? Because you don't want him to have a foothold like you stated. Are you prepared to throw some light on that further, please? Thank you for the time.
Well, I know that that Liberia has about, like I said last time, there's the market in Liberia is small for more than 2 cell phone companies. So I think we had one time there was another cell phone company that tried to come, but they never made it because the market just too small. But now we see a lot of casinos popping up around the country, and we know that most times things like casino businesses are used for money laundering and stuff in vulnerable countries. We don't have any proof to say, but I think the government might want to look into those businesses and see who's behind them and any connection to some foreign group, or because that's how people use their money. Also, regarding the Dutch fugitive in Sierra Leone, I'm told he had been in Liberia a couple of times. I think one of his daughters was in school somewhere in Liberia. They took her out a few weeks ago. I know that last year, I don't remember was it September? There was a flight that left Liberia and made the urgent stop in Sierra Leone without documentation. It was a mysterious flight. I don't know what happened on the flight. Sierra Leone said they didn't find anything funny, but it was just crazy that kind of flight just suddenly showed up. So the reports that it had all the markings of the Dutch fugitive on it. So that's how people are gauging this whole thing. Regarding big names, I don't want to speculate. What I do know for sure, and I've been confirmed with the investigators on the Joint Security Team, is that the driver to the DEA director may be involved because he has close ties to Michael Brown and Leroy Harris and the cartel. That has been confirmed. I understand that I asked specifically whether the OIC of the DEA was part of it or he knew what this guy was doing. I'm told he may have received a gift, but they're not sure whether he's aware that his driver is involved in this thing.
He may have received a gift from who exactly? His
From the
driver?
driver.
His driver.
Yes.
They don't know whether he's involved directly. So I don't want to speculate anything other than that. So far, we've heard speculation of other people's involvement, but the one that I'm 100% sure of is the one that I've said publicly. And this one is as close as I think we have right now. It's possible that the OIC is aware or he's not aware. We don't know. And I don't want to speculate. So I hope the investigators will thoroughly interrogate Jonathan Momolu, because one of the suspects that I've interviewed, who's at large, mentioned him as someone who's a person of interest that they should investigate. Also, I'm appealing because this thing is about Liberia. A couple of suspects, they want to come home and give testimony and help the investigation, but they are afraid for their lives because of some of the people who are involved in the investigation. So I've been pleading with them to help, to come and give information about people that they call some names to me, but I can't verify it, so I don't want to say it. But I want to appeal to the government to get some international help to have these people go back home to Liberia and help the investigation. But they need protection. They need to be sure that nothing will happen to them. I think that's where we are now.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Terry, you just joined us. This is second phase. I think Rodney will be over for the next 45 minutes, and then we'll take leave of him. You just joined. I think you've been following the show. So if you have time, we have Mr. C. Rodney C. is out tonight, and we've been discussing this thing. I know this phase is now going the next phase of the discussion. I know probably you use that to ask. Also, if you want to, we want to be asking Mr. C, because this whole thing is about, and one of the callers from Liberia also stated, Rodney, that this Imaya Zion person, during the hearing, the police director said, the man just a mere university student. How can I make him be involved in drugs thing? I thought that was a very terrible way for chief of police to sound. Being an investigator, you should know that the cartel will use people that are unassuming.
But there's a guy who was arrested along with.
I invite you to consider joining us for this year's Liberia, the diaspora, and the
something back. I think we can mute
Where's that
everybody.
coming from?
Not a time we had
We can
people
mute everybody. Somebody
I would
scream
think
something.
I'm trying to haggle.
That's Dr. Peabody. That's Dr. Peabody.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was only going to actually is that if you have
let me if I lost my thought. There's a guy who was called Pehe, Kpehe. He was arrested along with Michael Brown when that Kush case happened in 2024. Just to answer your question, he was a custom broker. Yeah. He may have been innocent to the whole thing, but one of the suspects I spoke to this week said this guy, Michael Brown, caused this guy to lose his life. Now the guy has diabetes. He can't even do anything. He's not working. He lost his job, but he may have been an innocent bystander. So they use people that they're close to or people who are innocent of these things. So it's possible. I'm not saying, but it's possible that some people may not know what's happening and they just use them, to get things done.
Okay. Peabody, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I want to say, you talk about these guys who have fled in other countries and the Liberian government must seek international help, to bring them back and provide that they get protection. How can these people come back when you have higher up who are involved? How can that even work?
No, if the international people are involved, it will give them some security. I know that I even appealed to one of them that, maybe the embassy can protect you or some embassy can protect you. They said, no, we don't. Got the name they called to me, they say they're afraid that they go that they will kill them. It's not that they don't want to go, but they're afraid they will kill them. So it's very, very, disheartening, but that's where we are. And that's how we have to make sure that we use our limited resources to make sure this thing is done properly. And those responsible are made to pay.
Okay, thank you. Tevi?
Yeah. Thank you, Ronnie, for sharing your thoughts on this and your investigative work. And I've been following you on several platforms as well as your newspaper. I appreciate the work and the time put into this. Two questions. I want to piggyback first and make a comment on what Dr. Peabody said about, in what you referenced about the guys coming town and requesting protection. But without them being in country, I assume that they can give testimonies. They can give electronically. They don't have to be in country for that to be qualify as evidence for courtroom. So is that an option available? Do you know?
I don't think so, because one of them was trying to be convinced to go on the talk show, and he was very, very afraid. And I think the problem is when it comes to drug money, you don't know how powerful these people are. You've seen some mafia movies where people just get snapped, So, and you don't know what people are capable of doing. You don't know what they could do, who they can send. They can poison your food. They can meet you somewhere, put something in your drink. So it's just something tough, and it's very, very hard. So I'm not sure whether even if they do via mobile or via Skype or whatever, whether that would even work. Because once you testify, because some of the information I got, I had to leave some parts of it out, because if I'd say the way I was supposed to say it, it would reveal the person that told the person, and then it would have caused problem for them. Right. So it's a very delicate, process. And this thing is a risk we're taking. I'm taking risk. We're all taking risk by talking about it. Some countries, in Colombia, other places, people get snapped, right. In the middle of town, people just get snapped. So we have to be very careful what we're doing. And that's why I kind of understand why the investigation can be slow sometimes, because the government, so there are some sincere people among the investigating team who really mean well, who want to make sure this thing is done properly. But at the same time, there are people among them who are, I'm sorry, but they among the cartel, and it's hard to scout those people out. So it's tough to guarantee somebody's safety when they don't.
So they don't have her. I apologize there. They don't have her helpline or anonymous line that people can just drop information. You don't know about that in this case. I know that.
No, but we need them to testify in court. That's the problem. We need them to be in court to testify against people on trial. So you can't just do hotline. You have to be somebody who's going to come to Liberia and testify and say, look, I saw this man talking to this man about this thing and this. I mean, the way the drugs were packaged, the way you saw the picture just seen, it's very amateur. It doesn't look like someone really knew what they were doing. So there's a belief that these people have a package facility in Liberia where they package these things before they try to get on the plane. I was sent by one of the sources a video of the facility. I viewed it, and they're showing the equipment they used to do it and all this thing, but I can't make it public because the person that gave it to me, I'm going to expose them, so I can't do it. But it's possible that I know some investigators told me that they think there's somewhere in Liberia doing this thing. I don't know whether it's in Monrovia or outside Monrovia. We don't know, but it's very, very important that we look through all the different angles of this thing, and that's why I think the issue involving Senator Momo Cyrus and Seagal and his refusal to resign from the chairmanship of the Security Committee, that's a red flag for me. And I hope Senator Nyambi Kanga Lawrence, the pro tem, can initiate some kind of forced removal, because he cannot be. This guy has all of the security contracts, almost all in Monrovia, and the airport and the borders, and it's just a conflict of interest. I know they say he resigned from SIGA, but how do we know? He's running the show, you know? They have all these big contracts, so nobody will give somebody a contract without guarantees that they're going to have protection in the Senate. So it is an influence. It's a conflict of interest. So it's something that everybody to be involved with. The president, the vice president, all the appeal to her, to Senator Nyambi Kanga Lawrence, to make sure that this guy is removed from that committee. It's not safe for even that you're going to have people coming to Liberia for trial. I mean, for trial to give testimony, and they see him on that thing, they'll be afraid to even go there because they see it's a conflict of interest. He may be part, he may or may not be part of this thing, but the fact that he's there, they're afraid to come back home to testify.
Yeah,
so
all
of these things we have to be very mindful of. It's about the country, not about one person. Yeah, he has all these contracts. SIGA has all these contracts, but at the same time, we're fighting a war against drugs. And if your company misbehave or there's some issues with your company, step aside. You cannot be overseeing the security committee and be asking people questions about drugs. It just doesn't work. When you have contracts with GLS and other companies in Liberia. So it's a problem.
Yeah, I totally agree. So that was segue to our question, but let me ask my main question. So based on the evidence you gathered and all the information you know, what can we expect from the investigation in the coming weeks? Is there still some things unknown that you'd like to share?
I didn't get the last part.
I said, based on the evidence, all the evidence you gathered and all the information you have to date, what can we expect from the investigation in the coming weeks? Is there still some things unknown?
No, I have a lot of stuff, but just I can't put them out because the ones I put out are the ones I confirmed with the investigators on the ground. And if it's not confirmed, I can put it out, including the names that I was told that are involved in this thing. So I can't just put it out. I have to make sure that it's thoroughly vetted before I put it out. And I also have to be careful. Like certain things I have, it might affect the investigation too. So I can't put it out because it's not that I'm working with the investigative team, but I have to be mindful that if I put certain things out, it will affect what they're trying to do. And I have to be very careful about that. Yeah.
So I'll close with this, PV, 30 seconds. So you mentioned three different cases, including the current one. You mentioned Mana Salif time, the rape case. I followed that as well, and how it ended. And you mentioned the George Weah, the George Weah era or regime, and what happened. So, based on all of this, what specific actions are you calling for the government to do to ensure that this case remains transparent? People become accountable, and that the right actions are taken regardless of who's implicated.
I think there have been calls for independent investigation, but I think the current Joint Security Team can make Liberian people shame by just following this case to the end, and where the chips fall, let it lay. That's what they should be. If they're concerned about what people are saying about independence of the investigation, just make everybody ashamed. Just do the right thing. Just make sure that wherever the chips fall, that's it. Whoever involved, let them, pay the price. And I think that's where we should all be hoping that this thing goes. Not, protecting one group of people and protecting people who they think that that they're friends or family or colleagues in the government. It just got to be done the right way.
Thank you.
Mr. Sita, we just came up. Welcome you. Mr. Sia will be leaving us about maybe 7:45, 7:50 thereabout. So I will ask you to so we just go around again. Since you just joined us, I'll give you the opportunity to ask a question quickly, then we move around. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Rodney. Thank you for coming on the show. I, for one person, have said that when you initially spoke about the appearance of some kind of a linkage between one of the suspect and the vice president, and I told the Liberian people that you're a credible journalist, you will not come up to make any kind of an accusation without having some kind of evidence. So I want to thank you for the kind of job you're doing in Liberia. We were in that same trenches before. When something is right, when we say it, if it is against the government criticizes us. If it is in favor of the government heals us. So that has given all government and what they do in Liberia. My question to you, with all of this information that you have, are you willing to work along with the government to ensure that this investigation is thorough and that wherever the chip falls, the government goes after those individuals? Are you willing, if you are called upon?
I mean, I am already doing that. Like I keep telling people, everything I put out, I vetted it with somebody in the committee, in the Joint Security Committee. And something that I don't put out, I share with them so they can help them with the investigation. If I hear something and I see something that I can't verify, but I said, look, this name was called and blah, 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 they can look into it. I do that. So I'm doing that already. I don't have to be officially, part of them to do it. And I've been doing it for years. Even during Madam Salif's time, I will share information that I have on certain people doing things in the government. And she will act. Sometimes she don't act. And when she doesn't act, I will fire. I will put a big story out and she will act. She will fire somebody. So this is how I believe it's supposed to be done. It's nothing personal. It's not like you hate somebody or you go into somebody personally. It's just something that we have to do to save Liberia. And some of us, God gave us gift to do different things. Some give us gift to be minister, to be government official, to be broadcaster, to be journalist. And I'm just using my gift to help Liberia. And I believe that Liberia is supposed to be on the right track. We've been through so much from the civil war, military coups and stuff. People have died, displaced in refugee camps and stuff. We've been through so much. And we don't want to see that happening again. And I always believe that if we had social media back in the day, there would be no civil war in Liberia because things just expose people and they would not do what they're doing. And I think that this platform and other platforms that all engage in this fight against drugs can be used as equipment to fight people who are trying to destroy this country with drugs. and we can't lay back. We have to keep fighting. And so I'm open. I'm ready anytime to. Sometimes I get calls from people who ask me questions about, you know, the investigation. If I know something, if I hear something, I share with them. I do things like that. I share with them, and it's helping the investigative team. They do. I give them something. They give me some stuff that they think I can. I always ask them to vet. I don't talk to all of them, but I have people that I know me that they trust me. I trust them, and I give them stuff. They give me stuff, and so that's how I operate.
Okay, a follow-up question. You indicated previously there that there are some moles in the security apparatus. When I say mole, those are double agents that are working for both the government and the cartels. How do you think that these individuals, because if we are calling for a thorough independent investigation, those moles have to be weeded out of the security apparatus. How do you think the government, or what do you think needs to be done to weed these individuals out so that we can have this thorough investigation regarding this fraud?
I think the president is aware. I think he's been told some things. And I think at the right time, he will do the right thing. And Liberian people hear about it. I know sometimes it might be someone who too close to him, he might want to make them look bad and they're asking to resign. But trust me, there will come a time. There's no way escaping this thing because some international people are involved for the investigation. So it's going to be hard to cover up tracks, to cover up people. It's going to be very, very hard to cover people. And it will be tough, you know, but at the end of the day, I know people want independent investigation, but the team right now, their hands too are tied because people are watching them. So they will eventually do the right thing at the right time. And I think the president will act when he's given the ammunition and the information that he needs to make a decision on who's in his government are involved in this thing.
Yeah, thank you. But we'll now quickly move. Before we do that, let me just, Rodney said something just now about before you will tell the president he'll hit fire. If you don't fire, you'll do a report, the president will be pushed to take some action. A classic example is the Robert Cable situation I can recall. There was this headline came, corruption on Ellen Knowles. And she was moved to take action immediately the next day. I can remember Robert Cable, Perrin Peckerson, I think it's the name. Yes, from the General Services Agency, the whole corrupt situation that unfolded. So yeah, that is true, and I just thought to reiterate that point. But too many will move around. The Ramco will soon be taking leave of Rodney. Then we'll go to you, then Rabble, and then we'll just go around, and then there's no more calls. So go ahead.
So we have talked about it, but for me, I'm about 20 guys. So let me ask this question. Prior to the 2023 elections, I think Rodney appeared on one of our platforms, and he predicted that the way things are going, CDC were in trouble. And when he said this, some people were not happy. He said that on the trend of things, if the things continue this way, the CDC may end up being a 110 administration, and the evidence came to pass. I know many people don't know about. I know you've been Labrador and quite recently. And the good thing about it, people don't know when you enter Labrador and leave from Labrador, so that's a good thing. But you've been there quite recently, and based on your assessment of the political situation in the country right now, I mean, from what I've seen so far, especially from today, I noticed that if I were the president seeking re-election, I'll be worried that my government is divided. People are infighting. You see one group of people saying that the branches is saying they cannot be criticized, and they're going back and forth with the legislature, and then some members of the legislature are saying that it's doing that what we're too powerful, what we are doing the wrong thing. So there's confusion going on right now. So based on your assessment, you're visiting Liberia recently. What do you think the political climate? What's the state of the political climate? Even though it's still far from election, but what do you think is happening right now and that may affect the 2020 run to the 2029 elections?
I think the biggest threat to the survival of any human government is the lack of effort to address the bread and butter issues of the country. electricity, water, food. Those are the three basic things that people care about most, you know. And if you don't see those things happening, and those are signs that things are not going the right way, I think Liberia has a problem with sycophancy. This
It has
disease,
always been there.
this disease has been the major problem for most of our existence. Madam Salif time there was sycophants, George Weah time there were even more sycophants, and now there are even multiple sycophants under President Boykai. The people you see on social media attacking and talking nonsense are people who want to keep jobs, who want to get jobs, or who think that, and the sad reality is that there are people in the government now who believe the president is not well, he will, God forbid, something will happen to him, and now they have to align themselves with the next person.
Yes.
So that's what's happening. I'm not afraid to say these things because I see things and I see what I see. And it's sad because your objective as an employee of the government should be to make
Can we
sure
mute?
that
There's
the
some feedback
government,
coming up, please.
yeah, it should
Go ahead,
make
sorry.
sure, should make sure the government does well. When the government does well, you ain't got to worry about election. That's the thing that I don't understand about Liberian politicians. If the government is doing well, you have nothing to worry about. But they are concerned, and it's not just this government. When early one, after inauguration, the first 3 weeks, 3 months, a year, they think about the next election. We had time. Same thing happened when they won. They start thinking about the next election. The whole 6 years was about the next election, preparing for the next election. You Peking, they even worse. They worry about 2029. Instead of doing the things that he's supposed to be doing to win the election. And it's so sickening that you have people who should know better, who should advise and do the right thing, but they don't. It's like the mind is blank and they don't see what it's supposed to be doing. Just do what is right for the people. During the election, I went to Grand Cru, the Southeast. Went to Riverses, Grand Cru, Sino, Grand Jita, everywhere. I spoke to young people, old people, and I kind of knew that the UP were going to lose because I saw what people were going through. And I said,
The UP or CDC, man?
That was before CDC, right? That was when CDC came.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
So I said what I saw there in the Southeast.
Yeah.
I don't think UP will win the election. And CDC came in the one.
Yeah. Okay.
The same thing with CDC.
Yeah.
They were doing something that were not right, you know? And that drug issue, the 100 million, I think that was like the last straw. And UP are good at propaganda. They play that thing to the voters, and that's how they won. So they know. It's not like they don't know. They know how they won. So why not use the same recipe that you won with and implement it to stay in power for the next election? Just do the right thing. And I don't see a lot of the officials. Look at today in the legislature, you had government officials on social media attacking senators. And these senators are supporters of the UP government. But you're fighting them. Go to ministries. The deputy fighting the minister, assistant fighting the deputy. Everywhere you go, there's fighting going on. There's undermining of each other.
Is the president in charge?
I mean,
Good question.
I think
That's a good question.
I think he's been taken advantage of in some cases. You know, I always have the belief that
So are they abusing old age?
if Madame Sirleaf was 10 years younger when she became president, she would have been a much, much, much better president. So if President Boyka was maybe 10 years younger than what he was when he won, he would have been a better president. But at the age they became president, they were like grandparents. And you know, grandparents always have sympathy for the kids. And sadly, that's
The
how it is.
grandkids. The grandkids.
That's how it is. And then you had the young president, Weah, and then he himself, he allowed people around him to mislead him. So I don't know where we're going, you know, how this country would ever change, because it's all about the mindset of the leader and the mindset of the people. But most times in our country, people who are in government only care about what they can get from the country. They don't care about, and that's why this whole drug thing is happening. Greed. Oh, that Dutch fugitive, they say they have money in Freetown. The man might buy the whole government in Freetown. So they hear it and they start going there to meet the guy. Some of them have met the guy. And they see the money flowing, so they all, that's how the drugs is just into, you just see people in the street acting funny. It's because the drug is deep in the country. And the cartel is entrenched in the country.
Is it true that I understand that the drug keeping in Sierra Leone? Is it true that he's wanted in Europe?
He's a wanted man. He's a fugitive.
Yeah. He's a fugitive. Robert, go ahead. Then we, you know,
It was just a question I was throwing there, my man. I don't want to make a comment.
Yeah. Before Rob, you said something, Jenna. He said the thing all over the place. Someone was asking me, so I hope they put some people so we put the our own men's tea there so now because Rob, go ahead, please.
Listen, I think you asked a very important question. Is the president in charge? And I think Rodney's response was more diplomatic, right? He's a diplomatic journalist. I think the answer to that question is very glaring. The president cannot be in charge. If the president was in charge, Rodney, we would have seen some serious arrest by now. There would have been some folks suspended. Pending investigation, the third investigation, and given the opportunity to clear their name. All of the information that have been revealed, you know, and you just stated that the president knows, he's in the know. And, you know, and with age come wisdom. This president ran on experience. And the Liberian people believed that his 40-something years of experience meant something to good governance and leadership, and dealing with the intricacies of the complications that comes with government, especially in our society. But one thing that I've come to realize to be true, not just in the political, from the political perspective, but generally in life, especially professional, is that you can lie your way into rooms, but you need substance to stay in that room. And what we term as propaganda in Liberia to win political offices are lies. But those lies do not maintain political power. And so this is the reason why Unity Party struggle. This is the very party that argued that George Weah, they made this claim with no repercussion whatsoever. They said the president was directly involved in the drugs epidemic in our country. Well, George Weah is no longer in power, and look at what we're dealing with today. Look at the border issue. This is another national security crisis that have not yet been resolved. In fact, We don't even know when was the last time the government updated us, be it a press conference from the president of the Republic of Liberia, any top national security official. We have not been updated. For all we care, the Guineans are still at our border, and we've moved on to other national issues, right? This government have spent more time and have been more aggressive, removing the speaker, spending millions of taxpayer money, bribing lawmakers to do political dirty work, than rescuing the people. Listen, you said something that I thought was very profound, Rodney. Drug money. We don't know where it's coming from. We don't know where it's going. Which brings me to this. And we've forgotten about this. Because when the $10 million presidential villa issue came up, this government put out misinformation. Well, when the president was aware of it, we also got another misinformation, and it came from the executive, that international and domestic partners contributed to this, because the monies that were used to build that villa was not approved legislatively. So we don't know. When we ask about the list of international donors and organizations that donated to this project, have you seen any list of international donor or domestic partner that contributed to what they call $6 or $7 million project in Lofa? For all we care, this could be part of the drug money. This could be an investment that was spearheaded by the drug cartel within the government of Liberia. If not, why have they not released any documentation to be transparent enough to say to Liberian people, here is the government portion of what they contributed, and here are international donors. Who are those international donors? It could be Leroy. It could be these guys that we were talking about. And so this government, Joseph Boakai is not in charge. The president cannot be in charge, because all we've heard from this president over and over and again on key national security issues are words. I haven't seen any serious action taken. No one has gotten suspended. No top government officials from this government have been prosecuted. Nothing whatsoever. So how can we trust words? Words means nothing. Words means nothing. And so I want to ask you this last question, because this is the last.
Yeah, right. If you ask the question, that's when 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. This is the last opportunity. I know. That's why I'm using the time, because I know I won't start again until Rodney leave. That's why I'm using my time very strategically, boss man. So I'll finish in 30 seconds now.
Yeah,
I'll finish in 30 seconds now.
But you're not going to use your time.
I'll finish in 30 seconds now.
Let's conclude in 30 seconds so we can go.
Yeah, 30 seconds, I'll be done. So Rodney, no, because this is very important and it's pissing me off. So Rodney, I want you to take the journalistic hat off for a second. Don't name no names. Don't name none of your sources. Protect them. But as a Liberian citizen, as a voter, as a concerned Liberian citizen who had concerns when it comes to leadership from previous administration, be it the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, the George Weah administration, and now, I want you to tell me, do you truly trust the leadership of this president on key national security issues such as this drug issue, the border issue, and other issues? Do you really trust the leadership of this president on all of these issues that's happened before? That you can say to yourself, based on what has happened in the past, that you trust that this president will do anything that he hasn't done before on other key national security issues?
I think we should give the president the benefit of the doubt, because the investigation is not completed yet. So he's coming back on Sunday. Let's see what they will tell him, and let's see what he knows, what he's going to express himself on what he has gathered so far. So I think we should give him the benefit of the doubt. Let him return home on Sunday. I know he knows some stuff. I know he's been told some stuff. And if he doesn't act on what I believe he knows, then I'll be in better position to answer that question.
Thank you.
But if the person next to him is somehow faulty or got something and can't come up to say, what can he say?
He will be forced to do something.
Yeah, that's a point. Before I come to Mr. Nambe, that's a point also, Rodney. Why, if those in the hierarchy of this, the Jones security, they are protecting the need folks behind this thing and telling the president, giving the president information that are not really the real information. Are we not head of a problem there? Because that's a suspicion here. I believe that the chief of police, the way he's handling this, that he knows more than what he's telling us. And then he's trying to skip go other. I'm thinking that way. That's my thought process. The way the whole information now. The current officer in charge, he was seconded by the police chief to. That recommendation came from him somewhere around there, because he's still a police officer. He said that recently. And even the police chief stopped him from communicating as the head of that. The officer in charge, maybe stop him. And then time he want police chief to say, hey, shut up, keep quiet, another thing. So there's some growing suspicion here. And I don't know if they will really.
And this is nothing new. Even during the Ellen Sirleaf time, when that thing happened with Perry Parkinson, them, they were hiding things from the president.
Yes.
And I knew, because I knew something that she knew. So I did the headline, corruption under Ellen knows. She was forced to act.
Yes.
But I don't think she knew what, they were not telling her everything that was happening. And when that headline came out, I put that with supporting documents and facts. She was forced to fire them. So sometimes that's what I'm saying. I know what I know. I know what I believe.
Okay.
I know what I think the president knows. He's been told some things.
Yeah.
And when he come back on Sunday, if he doesn't act, then I will know that, he's either not serious or he's serious.
But Ronnie, the president don't need to act in the country. The president can act outside of the country.
Well, he wouldn't return. Yeah, that could be some fights also, Ronnie, right? Because folks were telling President Sirleaf at the time different thing. Even the very Perrin were going to President Sirleaf, not telling the president that I gave Raul Kebe a kind of almost $400 contract.
And mind you, though, it's not everybody the cartel has. There's one or two people around the president that mean well. They got some people in the investigative team that mean well. So they will tell him. I'm sure they've told him some things, and he will act.
Absolutely, Mr. Nambe.
Mr. Nambe, you muted. I think you're muted. We can't hear you.
I'm trying to hug your line.
Yeah, because you don't look muted, but we can't hear you. Go in and out. Go in and out.
He's not muted.
Go in and out. Yeah, I think.
The cartel is bad.
Johnny, quickly, we turn it up. 1 minute, please, Johnny. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Yeah, so can you hear me too?
Yeah, I think you're okay.
All right, good.
Johnny, I hope you're not part of the cartel, because you're in Liberia, you're okay, but why Mr. Nambe not okay yet?
Johnny can eat Tabasui, so cartel is left for you.
Okay, so about Rodney here, I have a lot in my mind, to really discuss this issue. I'm sure, like you said, you have a lot of information, a lot of stuff. Are you collaborating or cooperating your data with our partners at the U.S. Embassy? Because I'm following information that said that U.S. Embassy is also involved with this matter, to the extent that the Sade Affairs paid a visit to the police, IG office or police director office. But I'm just considering what you know, what you have, and what may be, in the possession of our traditional ally that is deeply involved with our security sector. What are 20 things we have out there? And the other part of it also I want to bring to you is, as a journalist that is so much respected by Liberians and globally, what do you know about the Guinean occupation of Liberian land at the border between Liberia and Guinea in Foya?
First of all, I try to avoid discussing stuff I discuss with the partners, because sometimes it can put me in a bad position, because they will say, well, we'll discuss with you and talk about it. Okay. So I've done it. Yeah, so every time I talk with them and discuss, I don't like to talk about it publicly.
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, one thing as Moisha, that tells me that you are in conversation, so that's good. No problem.
So then why you next?
And also, the next question was, I forgot what it said something about.
I'm asking, how much do you know about the reason behind the Guinean occupying the land at the border with Liberia in Solomba, Foya, Lofa County?
Well, what I know
your
is
hometown, your home. I'm sure you're from Foya, Log Rodney, right?
No comment. So my father was raised by a crew, but his fathers were from Lofa County. So that's the connection.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think from what I gather is that we're doing some project in that area near Guinea, and some of the area they were digging, some materials were found at one of the Guinean portion of the land. So I think the Guineans got pissed off and they started, doing what they were doing. As we speak, I'm sure there's still some tension. The Guinean military government they create fear among people. They spread fear. So there's this, even in the Burka administration, the people there who they will tell you they got some fear against him because the Guinean military part of it is like people are afraid that he would do something unconventional, so they don't really like to step on his toes. So I think they're trying to resolve it in a way that it will not cause problem for both countries. But from what I've heard from the Guinean side is that like people did overstep their boundaries when they were going to do some stuff there. And that's why the problem is what it is.
All right, thank you.
Tevi, you take us home, then we'll let Rodney to leave us. Then we just conclude after the departure of Rodney. So let's take us home on this from Rodney, then he'll close.
Quickly, so one question. I know you're going to mention we're going to talk about it, but we didn't. I understand that the issue of drug trafficking is a problem everywhere, even in the U.S. But the difference there are methodologies in place, processes, and they're constantly fighting that war in other places compared to Liberia. You got insider threat that they're doing nothing about, all of those things. So based on your evidence and everything you've gathered or what you know, is Liberia a narco state or gradually going towards being a narco state?
Right now, I think Sierra Leone is a narco state. And Liberia is getting there rapidly. If this investigation is wishy-washy, in a year from now, Liberia will be a narco state. Wow. Mind you, the $100 million drug case happened 2 years ago. And in between, there have been multiple trafficking of drugs through the RIA on Brussels. These people, this cartel have people in Brussels. When you and I go through Brussels, you see how they check us. They go through that machine, they check your state, you go and see somebody, kill somebody, whatever.
Right.
But the cargo section, drugs pass there. Yes. And some of the drugs that left Liberia went through to Brussels, including the May 22nd package. It went to the person, Osman Ali received it. Mm-hmm. It was delivered to him. So they said maggot cubes, but we all know what it is. They package the drug into maggot cube cases and stuff like that. That's why it's so amateur, because that's not how drug dealers package drugs. So it's just the way it's done and the way we handle this case will decide whether we are a narco state or not.
But why are you projecting 1 year?
Because the weird thing happened, 2 years ago?
Right.
And that's been happening, but we didn't catch them until now. Because Michael Brown did the Kush thing. He was arrested, he was in prison, he was freed, and came right back to the same airport, not as an employee, but as a mule for the drug pushers. So had they put him in Central Prison, where I was, I don't think he would have escaped from there. But I'm sure the prison in Kakata is one of those small prisons. I'm not even sure they got iron bar there. They just put you there. Then he got out and they did the same thing again. So that tells you the manner in which he left the prison, the manner in which he continued to do that stuff at the airport, and the manner in which we are where we are now tells you that the progression is moving faster than we anticipate. Okay. Maybe a year from now, maybe 2, we may be on a narco state. But if President Burka is really serious about his legacy, he will come back on Sunday and really put his foot down. If we don't put our foot down on this thing, it would get out of control.
I agree.
All right, Chief. Thank you. We'll let you news this. Next 2-3 minutes or so, 4 minutes, if and just close up. But in closing up, someone asked me this question. Want me to add to your closing up? They said there's this information. It's allegedly reported that this Usman Ali. Is there any family tied with Mo Ali from Liberia? That's what the person is to use that in
No, that's politics, that propaganda. No.
Yes, that's okay.
No. Listen, look, I just want people to know that nothing we're doing is personal. We may step on some people's toes along the way. We may punch a few noses of people that are very close that I would call friends. But at the end of this journey, we mean well for Liberia. And I hope that people will understand that this process needs to be done. It needs to take place to save our country, to save our children, to save our loved ones, our parents, our guardians. We have to do things in a way that our country will be better tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. And always a delight to have you, man.
Thank you,
on the
Georgie.
show. Always a delight to have you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Rodney.
Yeah. Wait, Ronnie, somebody one person in the last one. They hurry on them. In la bro, I'll give you a chance for. Go ahead, Tom, man.
No, it's taking the point. It's starting I'm looking at it.
You better talk and then
I can't do it.
Bro, your data will go.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I have started laying my house. What are you talking about? I have started late. I was small boy.
Oh, Caleb, my man, ask a question.
Okay, so I don't have a question. Mr. Sir, good evening. This is Caleb Gonglo. I just wanted to speak to you. Am I on the show? Am I audible?
Oh, we can hear you.
Yes. Okay, great. I want to be sure. I'm in Liberia. Liberia is a different land.
That's why you're in Liberia, speaking Siri. You can't speak Liberian English.
I've never spoken Siri. So you guys stop the distraction.
Cool, listen to you. So go ahead.
There we go. Another distraction. I know you couldn't. Listen. So I actually just posted my support for what you're doing, Mr. Sier. And what I basically said in a NEMA chat room was that nobody should overlook you just as an individual, because you've been in this work from Gambia to present. You have different networks that you draw on your sources. When you come on something, some of the things we started doing of late on this cooking thing, those are bold steps any journalist can take. It's risky for you to come to that conclusion that you take on the air. You must have a credible source, and I believe that. You didn't just take this ordinarily, because it's not ordinary news story just right here and there. The next day you run to a different story. We are persistent with this. So I want to encourage you. I think all of us should support you collectively. Morally, we should support you. My advice to you is, as you know, for the world, the cartel, I would say continue to remain outside Liberia for now until this investigation reaches at some point. Because some of the people who are very comfortable to talk to you now is because you are outside the country. There's no way maybe Orange or Lone Star can monitor maybe some of your call logs, because you may be using different numbers, while you're connecting with some of these people. So that would be one advice I would give you. But I don't think you should relent, because I believe you have done a fantastic job. That's all I want to say to you.
Thank you, Kerebu. How was the meeting with Kun, with Vice President Jeremiah Kun?
I came to Liberia on the short trouser intentionally because I don't want to be no government official.
Thank you.
Before I go, let me just tell you one story. When I left Gambia, I ran in trouble with Yaya Jammeh. Years later, I went with Madam Salif to the AU summit in Addis, and I was standing in the Rotunda area, and he came with his people, and he saw me, and he did he did his finger like this, and now he's not in power anymore. So the reason you see I don't really get bothered by people insulting me on social media. Some of the very people you see in the government today, they were coming to me every day when I'm in opposition. So when I see that cussing, I just laugh because it don't move me. And I know tomorrow when they're not in power, they'll come back to me. I know people who in the last government, the same thing. They were in power, they didn't have my time. They would insult me. Even somebody I know, like we were like this when we were in opposition. Your opposition. The day the guy when I heard the guy on the radio and cussing me, I said, "Oh." So it's like I'm kind of used to it, and I think all Liberians should have this kind of mentality. Like if people criticize you, if people insult you, they cause your man, they cause your pa, just take it as a grain of salt and just keep doing what you're doing. And that's the mentality I have. Nothing can move me. I just do what I have to do. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So much. As you took leave of you, everybody was whispering about the drug issue. The one I'm calling names. But yet, everybody say, I just say, come on involved. And they say, people involved. I would say, people involved. But then they were calling me until he came up and just broke the whole story and called names of people that are connected to it. And then everybody's got getting nervous about it. But one thing I know, there's no way I can say that somebody is in the government not aware. People are involved. And I just, like you said, I hope and pray that whoever the chips fall to, if the president, like Dylan said, if they call for impeachment, should go to that route. And I pray that it all follow through because there's a serious thing. And again, like you said, people are looking at 2029 and the drug thing will affect anything for 2029. So people got to be mindful because what else matter? Let's assume if I'm on a ticket, will the drugs thing lead to me? Will they take me off the ticket or will my seat be affected or what? That's what we're looking at. So I would just look watching and saying, like you said, like just be mindful and like I know you well. You fearless. You people like I said. People know you've been abroad in recent time, you go and kind of nobody know when you enter, when you leave, you know. But they don't know and you're not on Facebook, so it make it better. So, but I know all our buddies there on outside. I see everybody attacking you now, but that's the part of the game, you know. And so I pray that you continue to remain fearless and let's do it for Model Liberia. You know, thank you so much for coming.
And that is the whole issue that amuses me. Instead of them looking at the substance at which Mr. Sear is speaking about, the allegations, instead of them looking at those allegations and taking it seriously, they are attacking Mr. Sear's credibility. And I said it before on this show. Mr. Sear is a credible journalist. He has all his facts laid down. He will not go public if he does not know what he is doing. So, Mr. Sear, thank you very much. We were in the trenches before, but we are not there anymore. But at least, you are keeping the torch, keep that torch moving, and one day, Liberia will be a better society.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. He say even the newspaper now got no relevant. Thank you. Maybe you put yesterday. He said the newspaper now lost all the relevant. That's now he lost the relevant. He said lost relevant. It lost relevant. Everybody posting.
Then why you responding to it for?
The whole debate. Thank you. The whole debate is about, and you said this right. It's about they believe that, and in certain quarter, they themselves believe that the woman is not that okay. So they think and then go the other side. So the other one want to ingratiate themselves, right? So that.
But Ronnie, before you leave, you stay on the show, Ronnie, stay here. I want to put it in quick to you before you leave, Ronnie. Looking at the coming 2029, we have Cummings, we have Moniba, we have Gonglo, we have Musa Belete. What is your perception about this situation?
Moniba new.
But man, you know about what you talking about? I'm only Canada and you know that period.
Moniba will be the forerunner.
President Boga running, so we'll see. President, we are.
Why can't he even be coherent? He even know what happened around him now. He would know what happened.
President, running and we are running. Everybody running. So we'll see what happened.
Okay. Anyway, you don't want to answer my question? No problem. We'll talk about it next time.
May the best person win.
Okay.
Okay, man.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Thank you, man.
Somebody got to remove the man.
Oh, yeah.
We can move yourself.
Oh, yeah, you go. Put him in the back.
In the meantime, I just watched the goal that scored in Morocco. Morocco missed a lot of goals.
That was a fair game. We have no complaint. That was a fair game.
It's not a goal. So,
man, that team, I knew Morocco got a very good team.
Yeah, they play good. I saw that.
The French team is not a small team to play with.
You saw that?
I knew Morocco was going to be tough, but the French are going to break them up.
But I'm happy. I'm happy France is playing again. Are they playing again? Argentina?
They won, huh?
No, France not playing. They beat Morocco 2-0.
They beat Morocco 2-0.
Okay.
The game ever said, yeah, no, France not beating Argentina now. So France and Argentina may meet in the semi-final.
Yeah,
No.
but this is the France is already
No,
in
not
the
the semi-final. Sorry, they will be in the final. So France is going to be playing the winner from tomorrow's game, Spain versus Belgium. France is going to be playing the winner from Spain and Belgium game.
Yeah, so they're already into the semi-final.
So Argentina and France, there may be a repeat of 2022.
No, Argentina, they're not gonna win. I don't think they're coming close to that.
What you mean by the point?
Before I leave, let me just
close to it. Very close.
I got to rush on the thing. You know, I follow I listened to the comments made by Senator Snow to Mr. Nangbe. Okay, I think it was inappropriate, right? Or inappropriate comment he made to Mr. Nangbe. I would say that it was very inappropriate. You can't go a grown man talk about him living alcohol. Was wrong. But in the same tune, Ambassador Onanega, what he did to Snow, I just before I reached out to him before the show. I told him, I was disappointed in you. Why will you bring the mother into this thing? You know, the older don't have nothing to do with this thing. You shouldn't have brought him into it, you know. And he said, well, he respect my views, but I'm entitled to my views, but I think it was wrong. And yeah, but so I'll say this: whatever Snow said or did, he should not have brought his mother name into it. The older days have nothing to play into it, and to pull a picture up and so forth. It was wrong, and also I think what it did going before the Senate today and try to just saying it after the match. I think they may apologize, but then to go and tell him calling a drunk and thing. I mean, some of us, they kind of, I'm a man with temperament. I would have responded right away. I would have responded, but he had his composure too. He was calm. He didn't respond, but yeah, even if I drink, you call me a drunk, I'll respond to you. I mean, you give me liquor to drink, you know. But to bring his mother into it, and that one I got mad with Chris. I told him it was wrong. You can't do that. And furthermore, and there's the issue about this honorable thing. It is the Honorable House of Representatives. It's the office, and it's the way you conduct yourself that maybe people will call you whether you're honorable or not. So I respect you. I call you honorable. But if you act dishonorably, I would just not call you that way. But as long as you're in the office, I respect the office. And lastly, the executive branch and they are being the Senate is almost portraying that they cannot be criticized. People can criticize you. Your public can be criticized, and you don't have to use your power and just use that power to just call people before you and try to deal with them. I think it's wrong. So, but I see the fight going on. It will continue to fight. And President Buhari, I'm afraid whether the woman can really control his government because it's getting out of hand. Because you got, and mind you, even the drug crisis, they won't know. But there are people in the government leaking information now to people now because it's okay. We'll talk. We'll spill the bean. Those are involved, we expose them. And that's what I see happening. So I didn't want to throw my light on this thing before I leave, but that's I wanted to say. Thank you, Pee-wee.
Yeah, I mean, that's a point, though. I mean, so a lot of folks saying things from the angle of the way, but the way Honorable Snow said today, I think normally Snow sometimes get emotional and say things. I think his disappointment came from the angle of those in government attacking the senators. you can be in government and attacking. Even a lot of senators, Prince Moy came up and spoke that they lost on the issue about the losing the war rather on those lines. Senator Deba Vapla also came out, hit the Ministry of Information hard that the ministry is just a reactionary ministry. I'm told the minister came today. You know, that kind of actions, you know, and so a lot of things unfolding in the government, but they Chris them, but they so-called ambassador, your guy called Chris Onuga or whatsoever you call him. I thought he went far below the belt. He said it's a scam, and I think the kind of a repetition he built before in the country about women in our place, young girls around that he allegedly abused. I don't see him to do the kind of thing he did in that place when he knew the thing with cutting other fools before. He's a big scam, man. Very fictitious element. To come out, he came out, he said nonsense the last time about he transforming the Providence Island. You're going to do. Up to now, we have not seen nothing. At the time of man, the country will go as tourism ambassador. And that's one of the reasons I asked just if the president is actually in charge. And then he's writing all kind of a gibberish today. His suburb very good. I know he didn't know how to read it. He won't add it. They'll put on it electronic equipped. They will kind of reduce the set to written that kind of way, right? Nothing you already say. I mean, so that kind of using that title to suck money from people. That's
right.
That's all.
And probably be somebody seeing drag
Wahala. I was so angry about it today. I don't want to get talking about that. The kind of a loose counter you have at the face of our tourism sector, and then see what will happen in the country. And then somebody went on his Facebook page and they see he attacking. They say, "Oh, that the country that people." Come on, man.
But Sylvester, you know, I'm glad that you've lent your voice to this, because all of these guys on this show here were and they allowed that man to come here and he was speaking gibberish. He was talking so nonsense. Okay, and no one said anything. But look at that. Look at that. I mean, look at his grammar. I mean, these are this is the tours, the country, the presidential envoy to the president on tourism. He's the chair of the board for the National Tourism Authority of Liberia. Think about that, Mr. Sito. This is the man that is on social media referring to another senator as stupid. And beyond that, look at he's using the letter U to communicate YOU. I mean, you know, this is how you know, kids, kindergarten kids in the hood communicate, because they just don't know anything better. You know what I'm saying? But this man over and over and again has proved to be a thought. He has proved. This is a man who talked about sex tourism here on this very show, and attempted to justify that there was this thing called sex tourism. And I was very careful because he was our so-called guest when I pushed back. But we allowed these things. That idiot. Let me slow down because let me slow down. Because,
you are on a public platform, young man.
Let me slow down because we I think most of our public leaders lack emotional intelligence. Snow referring to the man as a drunk and telling him to slow down. Listen, you don't speak to a elderly man like that. We should discuss the issues. And you know what? I thought that he discussed the issues. It could have been, you know, saying that the Senate were interfering with the investigation. I don't think that was an insult. I don't think that was an insult. And just because you're a senator doesn't mean that people can disagree with you on the substance of the issues. You know, that doesn't mean that shouldn't be the case. But for people, public figure, for people, our elected officials, our lawmakers, who people look up to, our children should be looking up to with regards to how they conduct themselves, how they deport themselves, how they respond to challenges and you know, the different diverse views on different issues. As an example, these people should be an exemplary of how we all should conduct and speak to each other, even when we differ with each other. This is what they're doing. It tells you how far behind we are. Our leaders don't set example. We got some bad people. We got some good people that we should take lead from in the House of Representatives and Senate. There are some really decent people in that place. There are some really decent people in that place. But a majority of our so-called lawmakers and our so-called public elected officials, these are bad characters. They are bad. They are so illiterate. They are bad characters. They don't know how to. They don't know. I don't understand how some of these people got the jobs that they have. I don't know. I don't know. Can you imagine that kind of man? I would work under that kind of man as tourism. That man is a chair of the board. That means that the managing director of tourism like bro, report to him. I will go report to that kind of man. That man there. That scammer. That man.
All right, guys, let me come. Well, let me come.
There are people that know that your friend. Let me learn, please.
I don't know what you're talking about, friend.
Yeah, but
you're on the show. You're on the show with the man, and the man. You didn't answer some of the man question. Then you said that. That's
you
my
said
friend.
I didn't do what?
The man hold you to tax. You challenged the man on sex tourism. It was defined. Sita myself on that show when we read.
So what is sex tourism? What is sex tourism?
No, I'm not going back to that. I'm not going to that. But Sita was the one who challenged you and said that yes, there exists sex tourism in that place. So don't make a statement about being my friend. You didn't know what I was going
No, it was never debunked. Sex tourism exists, and we read about it. We read about it. I went to Google and I read about sex tourism on the show.
Yeah,
I understand that you and you disagreed on issues, and you are right to take into task on some of those issues. But sex tourism does exist in the Gambia.
Hold on, guys.
But I mean, he was
talking about tourism, and he talks about sex tourism.
The whole time, bro.
And you understand? And he's talking about sex tourism, and we wanted to find out what actually what you were saying was true. Indeed, there is sex tourism in Gambia.
First of all, Doc, you are not the moderator. We talk about respect.
Yeah,
right?
but you're taking too much time.
Wait a minute, Doc. You don't have the authority.
So let me provide clarity.
When I try to come in, you didn't know what I wanted to say. You jump at that shit. You didn't even know what I wanted to say.
Yeah, but Robert, you can't take all of the time and you just
why don't we have a moderator? This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right?
You can't be saying the same thing over and over.
It doesn't freaking matter, right?
Because me and Chris has a problem.
He's the only person.
He's vendetta when it comes to Chris. You know, that's your issue. But you shouldn't have come and said that my friend. You didn't know what I want to say. You never did. So you're wrong.
So that
everybody friend with everybody. Everybody friend with everybody.
No, that's your friend. That's your friend. And the reason why I stopped was because you attempted to interrupt me. You're not the moderator. So why are you interrupting me?
Yeah, but you didn't know what I wanted to say.
But it doesn't matter though. We have a moderator.
You and Chris had a very you and Chris had a back and forth. Y'all deal with that. So you go in giving the best shot. When Chris on, y'all can go on it. Okay.
It doesn't matter. We are talking about Chris. He's a topic. And I have the right to speak my own. You can speak your own when your turn comes.
Yeah, but I don't know how long. Mr. Moderator, I read my case.
I'll take charge of this quickly. I'll conclude quick.
Sylvester, we need to set this clear. We can't be hypocrites. We can't go behind closed doors and talk about respect, interruption, and giving the moderator the chance to moderate the show, and then we come on the show and attempt to do the same thing. We criticize Fanta and others off. That the people that should respect people's time.
But how much time is allocated per person?
Exactly.
How much time are you allocating per person?
There is no allocation of time. But if I'm going over, we have a moderator to say that.
So
we have a moderator. You can't come here and try to disrespect me.
Well, you can disrespect me and tell me the man, my friend, when you didn't know what I wanted to say. You are wrong. It's very wrong to tell me that the man, my friend. He didn't know what I wanted to say.
Hold on, guys.
No, I didn't do that. You tried to interrupt my conversation. You didn't know what I wanted to say. You didn't know that. You were wrong. You jumped the gun. Robert, you didn't know what I wanted to say.
But that
every time we have
what you wanted to say.
Every time we have conversation, people can jump over people and come and say something.
No, you said
you didn't know what I wanted to say. I didn't jump over your conversation. I said I want to say something. They said, "Oh, that's your friend. You can go ahead." You are wrong.
I have never jumped.
Don't say that.
I have never. Every time you're speaking.
Oh, you do that all the time, man. Stop it.
They quickly, Raul, just a minute. They
Guys,
intend
more
of
than
the show.
temperature.
Normally, what we say on the show, when we on the show, we allot, even with Mr. Gabriel is moderating, the intent, we already have conversation to say, sometimes say, okay, whenever I tell you as you ask the question, we give time for each of the panelists at least to discuss. If it's a question or comment, it should be within 2, maximum 3 minutes, right? So sometimes not go, but many a times, most of the panelists will go far above that. And we've been struggling about keeping that into place so you show how we do those things. Many a time we all may violate those things. Many of us will.
Exactly.
But in some cases, when we have the conversation as such, sometimes what we do when we have the conversation, if I'm in speech, sometimes you can just, it comes to, okay, I want to say something and say that, right? And everyone do, right? Sometimes you post your question and the moderator can give you a time addition to, even when somebody's in speech, you can come and make a brief comment while the person, I thought maybe that's what Peabody was trying to say, and then what brought the issue around, say, oh, like your friend.
You know what I wanted to say? He just jumped out and put it there.
You know what? So let that pass. We can't really forget. Yeah.
No, let me say this. Let me say this.
I guess when you conclude, we'll have.
No, I will conclude. I'm done. I will conclude. Let me say this. I know Doc very, very well. I know that very, very well. Dr. Peabody can be disrespectful, whether he means it or not. He can do it with unintentionally. Especially when it comes to when people are saying things he doesn't necessarily agree with.
Why would disrespectful for that?
It happens many times, right? So my point
is,
my point is, when you spoke about this man, he didn't interrupt you. He didn't tell you, okay, no, he didn't do that. So when I'm speaking,
well, you didn't know what I wanted to say, Robert.
It doesn't matter what you wanted to say. It's not your turn to speak. Allow me to speak, and if I'm going over time, let the moderator check me.
A few minutes ago, Raul, Sylvester was trying to place call. You said, no, give me a chance, let me talk. Remember when Sylvester trying to make the guy to give a call? And you said, no, I got one more question. No, Sylvester said, oh, no, got a call. He interrupted?
No.
Hey, man, but look, gentlemen, man, I think this is not fair to the audience. That put this on control. The audience is not happy with us.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Of the show, man. One person cannot dominate the show.
No, we cannot be hypocrites. You're
trying to dominate the show. Let me
hold on for a second. We can't be hypocrites.
No, you're trying to dominate the show.
Over talking people and all those people are closed doors. Dr. Peabody cannot do that, especially not to me. We shouldn't do that.
I think Robert is the one still getting here. I waited for him to
finish speaking, and then you speak. Don't interrupt me again. Don't do that.
Everybody does that, so you can say that.
Don't do that.
Everyone does that.
Do not do
Everyone does.
No, I
don't do that to you. Don't do that.
Come on.
I don't do that to you. And by the way, there is absolutely no thing as sex tourism. And my argument to the scammer was no, because you just supported it. You said it was confirmed by Citon and you. So the United Nations,
there is sex tourism in Gambia.
Have for many years debunk the idea of sex tourism. Sex tourism is another term of sex sales. In poor countries.
Robert, let me hold you right there. Let me hold you right there because you are trying to deceive the public.
It's not a form of tourism.
You are trying to deceive the public. You are trying to deceive the public. No, we can't be having this kind of conversation and we have to debunk one another on the show.
But that's not been. And it's a misleading information.
Robert, please, just conclude 30 seconds.
No, so in 30 seconds, let me conclude. Robert, 30 seconds, let me conclude. The United Nations on tourism have for over 40-something years, and this is a fact, concluded that they do not recognize anything as sex tourism, which is the reason why when he brought that up, I debunked it and I said, you should not be mentioning that because sex tourism have been used in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in poor countries, by people who go and exploit poor young women for sex. It has never been a thing where it's been promoted in any legitimate tourism sector as sex tourism. Never whatsoever. And that was the lie he told, and that's what I debunked. So you come and say you verify it, that's a lie.
Okay, let me provide a clarity. The United Nations The United Nations can set up a
I
body.
didn't complete my
Let me
statement.
make this point. The United Nations can set up a body. Countries,
You got one
countries
minute,
can
please.
adhere to those provisions, and some countries cannot accept those provisions. For example, the War Crime Code. It is not all of the countries in the world that are members of the War Crime Code, but it is a structure that was set up by the United Nations. So many countries are not part of the War Crime Code. Now, let me give you the story of sex crime. It's sex tourism, and I'm reading it from the internet. It says sex tourism is prevalent across regions with very legal frameworks. Major destinations include Southeast Asian countries like Thailand, the Philippines, Cambodia, Vietnam, in Latin America and the Caribbean, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, Kenya, the Gambia are also recognized destinations alongside European countries like the Netherlands and Spain.
So do you know that the Gambia? Do you know that the Gambia?
So people are
Do you know that the Gambia? Do you know what the Gambia? The information is wrong. That's what I'm trying to educate you. I was trying to educate you in the scammer. The information is wrong because the Gambia you mentioned, Gambia currently has a law on the books that will prosecute and jail anyone who comes to the country offering money for sex. How can they embrace sex tourism when they have a law on the books that discourages them?
Come to you. Okay, Raul. What we do? You know, you know, there's a report, and that side of and what we need to also feed back to the audience is that the side of the United Nations came out to actually debunk this. It's still ongoing in the world, or in certain countries across the world, like the Netherlands. I've been there a lot of time, and there's this city right there in the hub of that developed European country. They are involved into that kind of a thing. There's some part of also in South Korea that I was there, right? But beyond that, if the United Nations spoke against it, how many countries rectify it? Is the rectification issue? And see that you read this point that certain countries will rectify, certain countries will not rectify, but it's bulk of the countries. Because part of the reason why the United Nations did that was the proliferation of these things, particularly young women or underage girls were being abused in the need of that. So many countries came out to do the correction of that. But before we get to detail, let me go to that. The Peabody, in conclude, then we'll come to you, and then we'll be wrapping up soon. The Peabody.
Let me say this, man. I think the fact here is everybody in the conversation. If I'm having a conversation and Tabina want to join me, sometimes she will say something and just jump right in. It doesn't mean they're interrupting me. She just has something on her mind, or she doesn't want to forget what she says. Sometimes it happens. We all do that. But the fact here is, when I tell her, oh, let me come in, I will not interrupting him. I'm not going to say things about Chris or any guy. Whatever beef he and Chris has, that's fine with them. But you don't just jump to characterize, oh, that's your friend, so you can come and say what you want to say. Nothing wrong with me being friendly with Chris. Everybody got friends. Everybody knew everybody in the government. But what I wanted to say was to condemn exactly what Edwin Snow did, that he was wrong for insulting that man and calling him a drunk in the chamber. Or he should have been professional with him. Don't bring his personal life and try to put it out there in the public that he's a drunk. And it was totally wrong. I was not getting on to defend Chris or Niniga or whatever Chris said and stuff like that. He didn't know what I was going to say. But I think that characterization of telling someone, oh, that's your friend, so you can come and say something, I think that sometimes rather you need to cool down when you're having conversation. You don't need to be tailgating, yelling, doing those kind of things like that. I think you were totally wrong, and I hope you apologize because you didn't know what I was going to say.
Or anyone else.
Well, you can't do it because you're in the mood right now. You're not going to do it. I hope you find time to do
that. Go ahead, man. Ladies first. We gotta respect the ladies. Especially a beautiful woman. We gotta respect her.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, Tevi.
Everybody here, I love all of you guys. Of course, I know that Robert, chill. I know your cooler temperature. We're better and bigger than that. So I don't know what's going on, but I don't even know what the argument is about. Quite honestly, if it's about whether sex trafficking exists, or if it exists in Gambia, because if the issue is the form of which is sex trafficking, sex tourism exists. Of course, it exists around the world. It's all around. It's out there. It exists. Now, if it exists in Gambia, that's a different discussion. But it exists all around, even in CDC, regardless of what UN position is about it. CDC issue even our health statement giving people preventive measures if you go into those countries that are doing sex trafficking, and you know how to prevent yourself, or if you're involved in it, that it's out there on CDC website. So I'm not sure why things are so heated tonight about this, but hopefully we're more tolerant. I know some days are better than others, but today I think.
Well, Lala Piggy apologize. I care what he said.
We're supposed to be talking about the interview, and now the temperature go off.
When my Piggy come down, he will apologize. Look,
let me slow down just by commenting passing about that. So I want to talk about, the Snow thing and the gentleman, the other guy. I think, when nobody's in charge, then everybody's in charge, and nobody's leading, everybody leads. And that's exactly what's happening in the country. Going back to the question where it says, is President Barker in charge? President Barker definitely not in charge. Obviously, in the Senate, nobody's in charge. So everybody going buck wild crazy. They're doing crazy, and they want to be called honorable. And we're not going to call it, our generation, we're not going to call it honorable. You have to deserve honorable title for me to refer to you as honorable to your words and your action. We're not going to do that. We're not going to kiss up. We're not going to kiss down. We're not going to do that. So you like it, boss. I understand today, because Nima Bowie made a post, she carries some students who's supposed to go and view the legislature, where they sit, the mansion, or like they were denied access. When we were children, we used to play around, or return to one on rakes, and other schools would pass around. Those places were free access. But because some of the free speech criticized these demagogues, because they refer themselves, to me, they refer themselves as demagogues. And so now they said the students couldn't enter the place. Even the woman said, okay, I will step back and let the students come in. They said, no, they're not going to allow. I mean, what times are we in? Why do people feel that nobody should criticize them, and then when they criticize them and things just get crazy, it's unacceptable, and we'll criticize y'all even more. So I'm concerned about the drug case. I don't think anything's gonna come out of it. I just think, like I said, everything that's going on is smoke case, a smoke screen. I think the handlers, and they're just gonna pick people here, there, and put in jail just to quiet things. But the mean people who are involved, who are in shadow threats within the government, they're going to be passing it around and all of that, and they're not going to be touched. Yes, you can wait for me until I come to Liberia. I don't know when I'm coming, but wait for me to the airport and put me in jail if you want. It doesn't change anything. I'll still continue to say the truth. But that's all I have to say on this. We'll keep talking about, the drug issue and other training issues. That's it, guys.
Yeah, let me just comment on the situation.
We're going to bed now.
Okay, yeah, bye-bye.
No, I mean, go ahead. I mean.
Okay, yeah. Quite honestly, what unfolded today at the National Legislature, especially in the chambers of the Senate, I think it was unfortunate. I think what Snow said, honestly, it is beneath him. He's above that. He shouldn't have made those statements against a government official. If he had issue with the man, he should discuss the issue, not personality. And I think that he needs to apologize. He needs to apologize to that gentleman for what he did. Apologizing is not a sign of weakness; it's a sign of strength. The fact that he did what was wrong, he needs to apologize. Now, on the issue of, I wanted to say when Rodney was here, one time Rodney and I had a conversation, and he said one of the things that is creeping up in Liberia is intolerance. People are intolerant when you criticize them. The government does not like to be criticized. Officials in the government don't like to be criticized. They think they are Lord and gospel. They should just do whatever they want to do in the country. They should run scot-free. They should steal the Liberian people money, and nobody should say nothing. It is okay. So the fact that Lema will criticize these people because they are not honorable people. Because if they were honorable people, they will enact laws that will help to improve the lives of the Liberian people. They're not doing that. They are enacting laws that are improving their lives to the detriment of the Liberian people. So when you criticize them now, where in the world you have a group of students, even if you have a problem with the person that led them, why you can't give them the opportunity to see the working of the national legislature? Because these are the future leaders of Liberia. Some of them will be lawmakers tomorrow. They need to be schooled on how the legislative process works. And to deny them, I think that was pretty wrong. That is the reason why we will continue to use this platform to call for a new political dispensation in Liberia. All of these guys in the national legislature, they need to go. Especially those who do not know their right from their wrong. I digress.
Let me close by saying this.
Thank you.
Part of the reason why we're on this show is to debunk misinformation and lies. And I will use my closing opportunity again to reiterate what I said. We can't just read things off the internet and say, oh, yeah, that's what it is. The mention of sex tourism by the presidential envoy on tourism in Liberia, considering our environment, intentionally mentioned that to insinuate that Liberia could practically benefit from sex tourism. And it was on that basis that I debunked and I said we should not even be having this conversation. And then he proceeded to say, well, Gambia have thrived on sex tourism. Look at the tip. It's there. I was the moderator for that show. And I said, no, it's not. And the reason why I say it's not, because we know it's not. This is not to say that the selling of sex are not happening in poor countries, but it's to establish the fact that these things happen in very poor countries due to poverty. In Liberia today, there are government officials sleeping with young girls because they can afford to pay their rent. There are teachers giving grades for sex. Is that something that we should be discussing? The Gambia, he mentioned, the Gambia has a general prostitution law, section 167. It criminalizes sex work and imprisonment up to 5 years. In addition to that, the Gambian Tourism Authority have did the Tourism Offense Sex Act. All of these things were done to send a clear message to tourists, especially tourists who are coming into the country to buy sex. These are facts. Every legitimate organization involved in tourism do not market sex tourism. Show me a particular country that legitimately markets sex tourism as something for tourists to come and do. They do not. The Red Light District does not. It does not. Whether it's in Harlem or the one on Peachtree Street in Atlanta, it does not. And so the point that we're making is, professionally, we don't promote sex tourism, because sex tourism is offensive word for sex slavery, sex exploitation. We've been very clear about that. And so when I mentioned that, I was basically saying, why would you have the presidential envoy on tourism, considering all of the beauty of Liberia and what we should be promoting?
We don't want to debunk. We don't want to keep debunking each other, man. Don't tell this people, man. Please. Sex tourism exists in the Gambia. Even though the government may have law to stop it, but it exists. It may not be legal, but it exists.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but if you interrupt me, one second. We have
somebody want to close the show on now.
We have to.
Yeah, we're closing now. We're closing.
I'm closing. So you see, this is the disrespect I'm talking
about.
Go ahead.
Sita, please.
Sylvester, hold on. Hold on, real quick. No, hold on, real quick. Go ahead, Telvi, you're on the show and you're saying the disrespect, right? Let me just warn Dr. Peabody or anyone else. I'm not the one. You heard other people that called me.
Robert, I'm being very calm. If you disrespect me here, I'll go. Don't disrespect me.
Robert, let's take some things back, please.
No, listen.
Robert, let's take some
I'm being
things
very
back.
calm. If you disrespect me, I'll go after him.
All of you guys were when you called me the Peking, we apologize. I'm a grown man. You called me a grown man Peking.
But we were just playing with you, Robert.
Don't play with me like that. Especially when
okay, we apologize, but Robert, can we take some feedback?
You're not gonna disrespect me though. I'm very honest.
You disrespecting me, and
you're not gonna disrespect me. You're one who can't. I'm being very.
You see the calling your ladies say, "Oh, they the comment section."
I've been very kind. I've been very kind and respectful to ignore what you just said.
See what you are bad moderator.
Don't call me a Peking.
Why would you know?
If you take it, listen. If you're taking it personal,
I am. I'm telling you now that I am.
If you're taking it personal, then that's fine. I didn't take it personal.
I am taking it personal.
If you're taking it personal, that's fine. But I'm not taking it personal.
No, I am though, because
we're just having a simple conversation, and you go all ballistic like this.
In the midst of a conversation,
you're going too ballistic. Right? The person you should go after is Seaton, because Seaton is debunking you and telling you the fact. You don't want to accept it.
But
not telling the fact.
But listen, I don't mind. I don't mind Seaton.
Let's do it. Okay, but then it is so continue. I would just.
That's a problem. The problem is when
Sylvester, cut the shit off, man.
When Seaton just spoke,
one
second. When Seaton just spoke, no one interrupted him. This is what I'm
talking about. I just told Senator General to get the time to write. I told Senator General what he did was wrong.
Exactly.
You have to get the time to conclude. When you conclude it, what you do, just use, okay, I want to say that.
How can I conclude when I'm interrupted, Sylvester?
Senator, please don't interrupt the man.
How can I conclude when I'm interrupted?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
There's a disrespect. We can't conclude. We can't be interrupting people.
Sylvester, look. I'm out of here because I'm going to get a little ballistic right now. So let me get
No, Ralph. Just a minute, please. A minute. I want the show to end. Listen, I don't want the show to end this way.
I think it's the best thing to do.
Sylvester, I don't care who goes ballistic, but we have to respect each other. We can't talk behind closed door about other people who've been disrespectful and not following the rules and do the same thing because we feel whatever we feel. I will not tolerate that. No one should try that with me. And so when I'm speaking, even if you don't agree with what I'm speaking on, you want to debunk, wait until I'm done. Then you have the opportunity to rebut. This is the professional process. I don't care who debunks me.
Ralph, conclude and we'll move on. Please don't interrupt me.
Okay? So Mr. Seaton is reading stuff off the internet. And reading comprehension has always been a problem in Liberia. Because even like, bro, we don't know that just because you're part of the honorable house, supposed to call you honorable. That's a problem. So no one is saying sex sales are not happening across the country or across the globe. That was never my contention. You keep saying, oh, sex sales is in Gambia. It's in Gambia. I'm talking about the legitimacy of sex tourism being something promoted from a legitimate perspective, not just in Gambia, but all of the countries you mentioned. That's not factual, including the United Nations Board on Tourism.
Man, look, man. I don't want to go there back and forth, man. I don't want to go there back and forth. This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. What?
I'm not going to argue with him, man. I'm not going to argue with Seaton. Seaton has no idea what he's talking about. So I'm not going to argue with him. But the fact,
Robert?
You do not.
You sure?
have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, it is pathetic that we have people like you on this show.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It is seriously pathetic that we have people like you on this show. I'm sorry to say, Robert.
Keep quiet on this particular issue because you don't.
No, I'm not going to keep quiet because you're trying to mislead the people.
No, I'm not. You are.
You are misleading the people.
You close already. I think
you are misleading the people, and we have to say it. You can't tell me and tell me. And you expect us to accept it, and then when we push back against it, you start to look. Because it may be legal, it may not be legal.
You do not understand what you're talking
Jesus
about.
Christ.
You don't want to keep
quiet. Guys, good night. We hope. Sorry, gentlemen.
You think you will have the last word? You cannot have the last word, my brother.
Do not go in
You're the one who's speaking gibberish.
No,
you're the one speaking gibberish.
You're really talking about the internet that are not factual.
No, my brother, I do my research. I just don't get it. Do research.
We just want to say good night to you.
From time to time, I just don't say stuff on the show.